We wrap up Thanksgiving weekend with a full serving of high school playoff football featuring the Division VI state runner-up from the last 2 seasons and a dominant force breaking through to the Final Four as regional champs for the first time in 27 years. It's state number 8 Carey versus state number 7 Springfield for a spot in the D6 championship, and it's taken over your eyeballs. Next.
Go now. Here we go now.
%94 of my salary employees came from working out on the floor. They've went from loading a press to a staff member. Yeah, to be a team member here, you have to be a hard worker, extremely dependable, willing to work long hours, have good people skills. Here at the Carey plant, the sky's the limit.
Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
It's the most wonderful time of the year when you got your lays that don't last many days because the whole family's here. Oh, wow. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. The trees at an angle, the lights are all tangled. Doritos, good call! It's the happiest season of all. There'll be smart food for munching, some ruffles for crunching, and snowball fights out in the snow.
Crying!
Run. Family portraits are cheesy with Cheetos, it's easy. White shirts were a bad idea though. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Grab the queso and salsa. Don't double dip, you monster! Pass the Tostitos here. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be gifts for returning and recipes burning and snacks all laid out in a row. We'll smile through the season, hold tight to the reasons the holidays make our hearts glow. It's the most wonderful time, yes, the most wonderful time, oh, the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays! Happy holidays!
teams with matching 13-game win streaks enter the stadium tonight, just one win shy from a shot at a state title, as our Final Four coverage of the Carey Blue Devils and Springfield Tigers begins right here and now. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Euclid for the Danner's Towing and Recycling pregame. Alongside Travis Berardi, my name is Brian Skoronski. In late November, football is officially here. Travis, you look out on the field, there's a lot of snow. It is cold, my friends. Plus, we've got two quality teams matching up here tonight, both sizzling hot, even though it's cold outside, a little bit frightful. Winners of 13 each as they enter tonight.
Yeah, both teams practicing on Thanksgiving. It's one of your dreams, playing high school football. Not only making it to a state Final Four, to a state championship, but also, practicing on Thanksgiving. Carey, Springfield both losing week one, winning the rest. Carey falling in week one to Hopewell Loudon. Well, Hopewell Loudon, what they did, they're playing in the state semifinal in D7 tonight.
Pretty good.
Springfield, they lost to South Range. South Range, they were a D5 regional finalist, so they played last week before falling. So despite the losses, they lost to very good opponents, and after that they learned what they did wrong, and they've run the table since.
This pack of Tigers starting to find themselves playing in late November on the regular now, Travis, as we'll dive into our Springfield team spotlight, and it's going to show you there is a lot of success that's been enjoyed by this senior class. 3 consecutive trips to the state.
Yeah, you saw the game last year, their state championship loss to Coldwater 38-35. Then in 2019, they lost 48-14 to Anna. This squad, didn't really make the playoffs maybe twice in the last 10 years. But after that, the last 2 years, they've really come on, and they're back here looking to make a third straight trip to Canton.
And for the Blue Devils, also making a habit of playing in big games, our Carey team spotlight going to show you 5 consecutive postseason trips. And progressively, this team just keeps taking the next step year after year, Travis, breaking through finally, getting to this round as regional champions for the first time in over 25 years.
Yeah, and they're riding their defense through this. They're only giving up 167 yards per game and only 57 rush yards per game. That's going to be one of the best in the state.
No question about it. As far as Division 6 goes, this team, a defensive juggernaut, offensively too. They will handle you up front. That's why they were the Northern 10 champs for the first time in their program's history this season. And here, just one win away of breaking through and going to the state championship as the Carey Blue Devil Band out on the field, ushering in playoff football here in the snow. Awesome sight here at Euclid. Fantastic stadium, great facility. And we're just a few minutes away from kickoff here. And let's talk more about Carey offensively and the straw that mixes the Carey's hot cocoa makes it go, Travis. The quarterback, Derek Lonsway, he's shifty, he's tough, he doesn't throw it a ton, but he doesn't really need to because they're so physical up front. They got the bruiser in the backfield to Winnebago Vallejo. So this guy, he's a senior, been starting a ton of games for them, and he just knows how to make everything click.
Yeah, we always talk about Jordan Vallejo, the RV that just runs through the offensive line, but it's Derek Lonsway that helps everything go. That he does the RPO so well. He'll keep it into the breadbasket of Vallejo into the last absolute second. If he wants to pull it out, run off to the right or left, he'll do that or pass it. But he just knows how to run this offense, and with somebody like Vallejo, it just complements him, and that's why both of them over 1,000 yards rushing this year.
And we saw him last week, a big-time performance in a win over Liberty Center. Got into the end zone a couple of times, and you mentioned what he brings in terms of just his handoffs in the backfield, holding it into the last possible moment before he takes off and runs to the corner. You see he's got the speed, had a huge performance in their second win against Crestview over the last postseasons, too, to get into the regional championship.
And you might be seeing a lot more running tonight. Like we were talking about, snow's coming down, it's a bit windy, it's going to be slick out there, especially for the wide receivers, making those quick cuts. They might be slipping here, so it looks like this is going to benefit the Blue Devils in that rushing attack, because we know, as we're going to see here momentarily, the Tigers, they like to go both ways through the air and on the ground.
On the opposite side of Lonsway, maybe the biggest star in small school Ohio football, period. Senior Bo Brungard committed to Youngstown State. This guy has been amazing over his 3 years as a starter. I think arguably nobody better in the entire state. When you look at Divisions 5, 6, and 7, over 72% of his passes is what he has been completing this season. 22 times through the air, 30 times on the ground. He has tasted pay dirt.
has to be one of the finalists for Mr. Football in the state of Ohio. And like you said, 1,759 yards through the air, 22 touchdowns, 1,607 yards on the ground on 133 carries, 30 touchdowns. And that compliments Bo Snyder as well, who is one of their main running backs for 642 yards. But this squad, 277 rushing yards per game. He has most of them.
So those are your spotlights presented by Burson-Bakies Insurance. And look at the snow starting to come down here in Euclid. That's how you know it is late November and football matters here in the great state of Ohio. One of the best states in all of the country for high school football atmosphere, and sometimes the weather is what helps bring the juice and can be a great equalizer too, Travis. We were talking a little bit about the drive down, and both of these teams, even though the Tigers, they can run it pretty effectively too with the quarterback and the running back. We feel like with the physicality that Carey brings to the table, this might be something that they welcome in, having the snow drifting in at this rate that it is right now.
This offensive and defensive line of Carey is one of the biggest, most athletic lines that I have seen in my 5 years of being up here in North Central Ohio.
Sure.
They are big, they're athletic, they push you around, and if Carey, they can get 2-3 yards per carry. They don't have to get the big play. You know, they might have a couple big plays, but if they can just continue to slowly move down the field, slowly wear down that line of Springfield, it's going to play right into their hands, and then once you get to the fourth quarter, you know, you're going to tire them down, and you're going to be able to pounce right on them.
So, of course, we've got a big Final Four game going on right here in Euclid. Over on the other side of the state in Piqua, the other two teams that are battling it out for a spot in the Division 6 championship game, West Jefferson ranked number 9 in the state, and the defending state title holders of Coldwater at number 6. Both those teams also having great seasons. Coldwater, I believe, has lost twice. West Jefferson, losers of just one game. So there's obviously plenty of good football teams still remaining in the Final Four, all 4 of them state-ranked.
West Jefferson, they have a quarterback kind of like Brungard. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball. We saw in a game earlier against Northmore in these playoffs, they were able to do that at bay, and their defense pretty darn good too. I believe they were up 49-0 or 49-7 at the break against Northmore, a good squad that we know was really defensive-minded as well. And then when you talk about small school football in the state of Ohio, you talk about Coldwater. They've been here many times. They are used to this atmosphere, and, you know, they might be back in Canton next week. They got one more step ahead of them in West Jefferson.
So that's a look at that matchup. Let's go a little bit deeper inside of ours tonight. As mentioned, all 4 of the teams in the Final Four state ranked. Springfield checks in at number 7, actually. Carey is number 8, and then the winner going to advance and take on one of those 2 teams. It's a fun, exciting time of year. Not any really Cinderella stories in Division 6. I mean, these are premier programs, big-time teams that expected to be in this type of situation, Travis, and they've proved it on the football field that they belong still playing in the state semifinals.
Yeah, and just another note about Springfield and their rushing attack, 277 rushing yards per game, 9.6 yards per carry.
That's a nice average.
That is a very nice. You almost get a first down every carry. 54 total touchdowns from the rushing attack from Springfield. But like I said, big defensive line of Carey. They have to stay helmet to helmet. They have to stay in their lanes. They cannot be thrown off by any misdirection from Springfield, because you know that quarterback, he's going to try and throw them off a little bit and get out to the outside. You stay in your lane. You contain him. Maybe allow 2-3 yards on a carry, 4 yards, but don't give up the big plays early.
It seems like you just kind of worded what's going to be coming out of my mouth here in just a moment here, Travis.
Kind of stole the keys from you, didn't I?
As we'll dive into the keys of the game for the Carey Blue Devils. And for me, I am going with box up Bo for all the reasons that you just outlined. That dude, he's just so lethal once he exits the pocket. I had the great privilege of watching him on display in the state championship game last year, where he basically willed his team into a position where they should have won. The probability for Coldwater to come back and win that game with the game-winning field goal was unlikely, because Bo Brungard is so incredible. So the Blue Devils, boy, they really got a key on him. And I know they got other guys they can swing it to on the perimeter. It's definitely not a one-person show. You don't get to 3 straight Final Fours, but that is the biggest star on the field. You can't let him shine too bright.
And my key to this one, strength up front. Like I said a little bit earlier, that the big offensive defensive line of Carey, can they wear down Springfield to the point where in the late third quarter and fourth quarter they can start pushing them around, they can start doing the things that they need to do to get victory here tonight. You wear them down, you stay close with them here in the first couple of quarters, then you're going to be able to pounce on them at the end.
We outlined Kemmerly as well as Vallejo, two guys having outstanding seasons on opposite sides of the football. And Kemmerly, such a great dynamic athlete at the linebacker position, but Jordan Vallejo doesn't have to play defense. He saves all of his energy and aggression for the offensive side, and they nickname him the Winnebago because he's almost the size of one. 270, Trav, and those Tigers going to have a handful tonight trying to bring him down.
One of the biggest running backs that I have ever seen in high school football, and you think, okay, he's one of those guys just runs downhill, gets a few yards, but no, he's elusive as well. You have to have 3, 4, 5 players on him to tackle him, but then sometimes he'll just spin out of it and get 4 or 5 more yards after that. He is a rare type of running back that we really don't see here in Ohio.
So the Tigers out on the field. Let's see their keys to the game tonight. And I've got attack as a pack because of that gentleman that you just talked about that's basically NFL lineman size running the football at the high school level. You got to swarm to that guy. You got to get a couple of them down low, hit them up tall if you can. So you need to get some hits as a unit on Jordan Vallejo and company. Bring him down, swarming to the football as a pack.
And my key is pick up the tempo. We're going to see Carey probably try and slow things down. Like I said, get 3, 4 yards per carry. Just slowly move down the field, get into the end zone, kind of like the Lucas Cubs who we cover back in the Mansfield area. They can slowly get down there. The way to counteract that, pick up the tempo. Go full speed. Get into the end zone quick. You might get a stop. You can quickly score again. Then you have your tempo. You can take control that way. So you got a slow pace on one side, you got a fast pace on the other. Which one is going to take place here in the first couple of quarters to see how we set this up?
Tigers anxiously awaiting their march out onto the field. State Final Four, third consecutive season for Springfield, have not yet tasted a state championship. They feel like perhaps this could be the year that they get it done with their senior quarterback, Bo Brungard. And they do have some nice pieces around him too, Travis. As we mentioned, you don't just get to this game with having a one-man wrecking crew. They got some guys up front that can block too, and you like some of the perimeter players.
Yeah, definitely. You have, like I said, you have Bo Snyder, a running back that has over 600 yards receiving, but then you have 4 wide receivers that have over 200 yards catching, 6, 5, 4, and 3 touchdowns. So he can also spread it out. They might go 5 wide. They might just get close up and go I formation. They can do a lot, and if they spread you out, he doesn't have to run sometimes. He can throw it to an open man. He has the full pack of players at his disposal.
In Springfield, too, we read in a coach's interview earlier in the week, he feels like perhaps Carey has not seen a team that can do what they do. They can line it up. They can run straight at you from the I formation. They can also go 5 wide, spread you out, and the quarterback always a threat to get out of the pocket. Plus, you mentioned all those weapons that they have with over 200 yards receiving. So they'll spread it around, Travis, and it looks like they're getting their final little pep talk on, and they're going to burst through. Always one of the best feelings as a high school team, carrying the big sledgehammer, and the Tigers looking to sledge their way into the state championship with a win here tonight. All right, for those of you watching live on Facebook and YouTube, make sure that you check back with us around 9:30 for a full broadcast as we cut away now per OHSA rules and regulations.
.94% of my salary employees came from working out on the floor. They've went from loading a press to a staff member. Yeah, to be a team member here, you have to be a hard worker, extremely dependable, willing to work long hours, have good people skills. Here at the Carey plant, the sky's the limit.
Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
The Division VI State Final Four from Euclid has arrived on a snow-packed night here in Northeast Ohio. Brian Skoronsky, Travis Berardi with you on the call. Springfield and Carey about to lock horns. Awesome night of football on the way, folks, to wrap up your Thanksgiving weekend. So allow us to be one of the last to wish you a fantastic holiday weekend, hopefully full of family, fun, and we always know food. I think I had a 10-hour dinner on Thursday, Travis. It was a bit too much.
I have enough for my third Thanksgiving meal from the leftovers. I'll have that when I get home tonight. But only 28 teams in the whole state of Ohio are playing football this weekend, trying to get that down to 14 for the state finals, and we are underway.
On the return here, it's going to be Anthony Bell. Forced here near side. Wrapped up down low, right at about the 25-yard line. We'll check out the offensive starters for the Carey Blue Devils here tonight, led by Derek Lonsway, Jordan Vallejo in the backfield, Bryce Conti, Woods, Bose on the outside, and then a big front with Cordry, Claus, Bouchon, Paul, Ferguson, and Anthony Bell does the kicking work.
Over 2,000 yards in that backfield with Lonsway and Vallejo, and we're probably going to see a lot of that because of the weather conditions.
On first down, Vallejo into a crowd. Pushes his way forward for maybe about a yard, but the Tigers' defense was prepared. They swarmed to him. Here are the starters for Springfield here tonight. Got a gifted defensive front with the four guys across there. At linebacker, Datillo, Groner, and Snyder. Brungard plays safety. Slight Gardner at the cornerbacks. This is a good unit, Travis. Maybe not as stingy as what we're going to see from Carey, but they have been lights out, particularly here of late.
Vallejo trying the outside this time, and this is a good job early on by Springfield. They're swarming to him, like we said, one of the keys. You have to swarm him, keep him from getting 3 yards a game. If Carey can continue constantly, get 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, they can just slowly go downfield. But if you get 1 or 2, you're going to get them behind the sticks, and that's what they've done so far.
And this is the recipe to be able to create disaster for the Blue Devils. Get them to an obvious throwing situation, particularly backed up at their own end from the 28-yard line, and make Lonsway throw it. That's what the Tigers have done here. It's a big third down.
It's going to be a sweep. Nice open field tackle.
Bell thought that he had the outside, but Nick Slike was able to come in and bust that thing open, as you'll see in the Hardware replay. It looked initially like things were going to open up to the perimeter. Instead, it's fourth down after a gain of 2.
Yeah, he tried to cut it out a little bit further than maybe cutting in and getting in a couple extra yards. Great job by Slike to make the shoestring tackle and force the punt a 3-and-out.
Bell's back. It's a low snap. He handles it. Low line driving kick taken at the 41-yard line. And here comes Shondell Gardner. Makes a cut. First man misses. And then brought down right about at midfield. So we will get our first look at Bo Brungard and the Tigers offense. What more can we say about Bo and what he brings to the table? That kid is awesome. Woods is going to be leading the charge up front for Snyder. Pretty big along the offensive front too, Travis. And then they'll mix things up. Right now on the starting lineup, just a couple of wide receivers. But as mentioned, sometimes they like to get a third, fourth, even 5 wide receiver sets from time to time.
This is going to be the Bo and Bo show tonight. Over 2,400 yards combined between them. Brungard was 1,759, Snyder with 642, but they're going to spread it out as well, like we see here on first down.
So it'll be 3 wide. They bring a man in motion, and they'll hand it to him. Shondell Gardner, big loss here on first down. Goes backwards for a negative play of 5 yards.
Landon Kemmerly, one of our players to watch on defense, read that perfectly, got through the offense. They actually came out of the linebacker position, waited to the last second, read the play, got the loss for 5. It's going to be 2nd and long.
So 2nd and 14 now. Brungard in the gun by himself. Again, they bring Shondell in motion. He's going to run it this time. Stutter step. and then falls forward across midfield, got the penalty yardage back.
Yeah, he saw an open hole. That was a good job by the secondary to come up and pounce on him, but still, he gets the yardage back. Now it's third and somewhat manageable for them as well, as we have the referee stopping things for a moment.
Give us a second to check out the Carey defensive starters. Brought to you by Danner's Towing and Recycling. And we mentioned Kemmerly. What a season he's having from the linebacker role. So much size up front with Broadmanstein and Stoll. Frederick at the cornerback. Conti, what a ball hawk he's been. The best takeaway artist in the Northern 10 and one of the tops in the state.
And Kemmerly, that was his 34th tackle for loss this season. Leads the team and leads the Northern 10. He's going to keep it again.
So Bo straight ahead, going to get about 6-7 more yards here. Will be fourth down, but could be 4 down territory after back-to-back pickups to make this fourth and manageable.
Yeah, that penalty really hurt Springfield there. If it wasn't for that, a couple of these carries, they'd be in first down territory, but it's fourth down. He has picked up 2 5-yard games thus far. Carey's going to have to shut that down a little bit more. They're giving up a little bit too much defensively here on the last couple of plays.
Tigers need the 40 to pick up the first. They bring a man in motion. Brungard fakes to him.
Big play in the backfield.
It's Bell who bursted in there. Anthony Bell makes the stop, and the Carey defense stops. They'll open up shop offensively.
That's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to stay in their lanes. They needed to contain him and then swarm, and that is what they did when they needed it most on 4th and short. Now they got that offense back on their side, and let's see if they can start moving the ball.
First big play of the night comes on a Carey defensive play. No surprise, as good as they've been all year. Quickly, Vallejo gets the carry. Straight ahead, 3.5 yards is the pickup. And over the course of the night, you imagine that wears on most defenses, and the Tigers better be prepared to tackle the Winnebago time and time again.
Yeah, and that's another reason. What just wears down defenses is just he's such a big, elusive back that if you go one-on-one, you are going to lose unless you're an NFL linebacker. And there's not any here in the state of Ohio in high school, at least yet. You got a 2, 3, 4, and that does, like you said, wear on you, especially as a linebacker. As there's a handoff up the middle, and the pile is going to get Carey a first down. Still up.
How about the legs driving, footing at a premium? And it didn't matter on this one. Big run by the Devils straight ahead.
That was Woods with the carry.
So Lance Woods picks up the first Slate Hair Studio first down of the night. Brought to you by Ray Ambrosey.
Everybody was focusing on Vallejo. Instead, going quickly to your up back, he gets you 10.
And now here's Anthony Bell on the carry. Didn't have a lot of space that time. Hit by Slack.
And I forgot to mention here in the pregame, it's not just Vallejo sometimes. They go with those split backs, those wide receivers. They do some sweeps, or they put them in the backfield and use that speed to complement the slow, bulldozing movements of Jordan Vallejo. But now the Blue Devils starting to get that momentum after the big fourth down stop. They're into Springfield territory.
They've got Kemmerly, the lead back. Vallejo spinning away from a couple of would-be tacklers, stays on his feet, but not for long. Finally knocked down after he picked up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 3, Trav.
Yeah, and he got stopped about 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, but once again, he spun, he eluded, and was able to get 2 more yards off of that to make this 3rd and short.
Definitely feel like Vallejo had some type of a background. Maybe it wasn't going to classes and stuff for dancing or ballet, but maybe in the basement or something, Travis. I don't know. He's got too good of feet.
Well, talking to him after the game last week, he said, nobody expects me to do this, so I'm just going to keep proving them wrong. Big open space.
Derek Lonsway with the cut and a huge run, getting deeper into enemy territory just outside of the red zone.
First time we've seen Lonsway carry it, and he gets 21 yards and a first down for the Blue Devils.
All set up by the fake to Lance Woods. Drug it out as far as he possibly could.
And that's what I said earlier in the pregame. He will keep it in the breadbasket of his running back until the last second. If he thinks he can get off to the side, he will, and that's what he did.
So they turn and hand to the up man, and straight ahead, it's going to be Carmen.
Give it to your up back. He can bulldoze as well. He's not as big as Vallejo, but he still has that size to just run through that offensive line. 5 yards on the carry for him.
So now down to the 10-yard line goes the Blue Devils offense. After being forced to a 3-and-out on their opening possession, carrying the momentum of that 4th down stop that the defense came up with, and looking for some points here as they toss it to Jordan, cuts inside, and the Winnebago
He just
knocking bodies down.
He just ran over him, and he's still up inside the 5.
Bulldozer running right into the teeth of the defense that time by Vallejo.
Give him about 9 yards on that carry.
Actually trucked his own guy. That was Kemmerly who got the brunt of the contact.
Nonetheless, it's a 1st and goal. And Carey, they're playing their game. They've run a lot of time off the clock here in the 1st quarter, and they have a chance to take the lead off this 2nd possession.
So on a Slate Hair Studio 1st down, they'll give it to Vallejo, fighting for the end zone, and he's in there. The Winnebago parking in for pay dirt, and the first points of the game belong to the Carey Blue Devils.
Playing Carey football right there after the stop, just running the ball downfield 3-4 yards at a time, and then you get the big chunk play from Lonsway. Blue Devils on the board first in this state semi.
And that's been the story for this Blue Devils team all year, letting the defense make big plays, set up your offense. They do it here as they capitalize after the 4th down turnover. And the Devils tack on the PAT. It's 7-0. Carey on top. An excellent drive capped off by this guy right here, Jordan Vallejo.
Just watch him off the original line of scrimmage. Still works, fights his way, and then, yeah, he is in the end zone. 6 carries, 22 yards unofficially for him. They are over 60 yards as a team rushing, and most of that coming on this drive alone. A team that, Lonsway only passed the ball 1 completion last week in their big win in their regional championship over Liberty Center. They were down 7-0 in that game, scored 31 unanswered. Vallejo, 137 yards rushing in that game and a touchdown. Lonsway, 9 carries, 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. They had 315 total rushing yards, and they're making their way towards that number already on that one drive alone.
So the Carey Blue Devils, who have been averaging during the playoffs 31.5 points per game, tacked the first 7 on the board. They've only given up 5.25 points per contest so far in postseason action. You imagine that's not going to be the case here against the dynamic offense the Springfield brings to the table, but it just shows you how dominant this team has been on both sides of the football.
And we've seen, though, with this Tiger squad, they can score in chunks. They can get a big play. Carey, they got the momentum. They got that first score, but now they're going to have to contain the Bows in the backfield. I thought that was going to go out of bounds. Somehow it stayed in. Big break there for Carey off that kick.
Take another look on the Houk Hardware replay.
Just took a good bounce. I don't know what it hit off of as it was going over there, but it stayed in bounds and gives Carey a break as Springfield is going to start back, I believe, before the 30. I can't see the numbers on the field. It's so much snow. I love the atmosphere and everything, but it's a little tough for us broadcasters up here looking for the numbers. Now they have it up on the board on the 28. That's where they'll start. This press box shaking with all the Carey fans right now. I love it.
Carey Nation certainly has shown out here tonight. A ton of fans here as Bo Snyder looks to catch the edge. Flag comes in, the first of the night, and he gets whipped down. Tough tackle made by Gage Summit.
And I think that's going to be a flag on the wide receiver there on the edge of that sweep, holding the corner, keeping him from coming over to attempt the tackle, and that's going to be 10 yards back, and it is.
So you look at number 12, Bell, being held down on the bottom of your screen. Shondell Gardner picking up the penalty.
And that's the thing. If he could have just moved his body to the left instead of grabbing on, I think it would have still given Bo enough room to get by. But tough break for them. That backs them up 10 yards. It's going to be 1st and long.
They'll send 3 receivers out. 2 to Bo's right, 1 to the left. Straight back, looks left, comes back right. They've got the bubble screen set up, and it's going to get bursted. Not a chance, flying in for the big tackle. Guess who? Landon Kemmerly.
35th tackle for loss here as they busted up that screen attempt. And just watch him standing and waiting, sees the throw, gets through the line, makes the tackle.
And I would call that unusual acceleration to the football. This kid straight up in the last 3-4 yards before he gets to the ball carrier, gets a little bit faster. He smells the blood, and you see he's an excellent open field tackler. It's going to be 2nd down and 20.
Carey, like I said, they're doing what they need to do right now. They're not getting faked out. We'll see if that continues. As we're going for another pass.
Brungard going deep. Man's got a step. It's underthrown, though, and broken up by Lonsway on the coverage. So 3rd down long is going to be the scenario here for the Tigers.
Jacob Joyce, the intended receiver, but Lonsway just getting in there with the hand in time, looking back to the quarterback so he doesn't get the pass interference call against him, makes the play. Now it's 3rd and long for the Tigers.
Big opportunity here for this Devils defensive unit to stop Springfield on their first 2 possessions.
1 total yard for Springfield here in the 1st quarter.
Man in motion, Brungard fakes to him. Look at the juke move to the outside. Here comes Bo. He's going to take a push after a gain of 12, and 4th and 8 coming up.
So Carey playing a little bit more loose there, 3rd and about 22. They gave up a chunk, but they were able to still keep them in front of the sticks, and now Springfield's going to have to punt. And just another penalty. The penalty yardage really hurts Springfield there. Now Carey going to get the ball back up 7-0. Probably a good chance of running out the clock here in the 1st quarter. They are playing their game right now.
So is Coldwater on a Tanner Molenkamp interception to the house. They lead West Jefferson 7-0 late in the 1st quarter of that game. Great looking punt. Bell has to backtrack, able to squeeze it, makes the first man miss, and a whole pack of Tigers waiting for him. And it's going to be out to the 37-yard line. Carey will start for this drive.
Yeah, he's able to break 1 tackle, but a good job by Springfield getting down there and punt. Coverage, great punt, high punt allowed them to get down there for the coverage as well. Only about 7 yards on the return. But Carey gets the ball back here, up 7-0, 2:19 left here in the opening quarter.
What a statement drive this could be for the Blue Devils if they can get points on the board. Tight formation, 3 running backs. And they'll turn and follow Vallejo. Here's Lonsway to the outside. No space available that time. Maybe picked up 1.
Yeah, it was a great job by Springfield reading the spin. Everybody coming to that left side. Vallejo didn't have a chance to really set up the block because there were so many Tigers around him to make the stop after a short 1-yard gain. And now a referee timeout. Maybe a little bit of blood. Austin First, the freshman lineman, is going to have to take a seat for a moment, get that fixed. Evan Butler, a freshman, coming in to replace him. This is a big defensive possession for Springfield. Can they force a quick 3-and-out, get back on offense, or can Carey control field position as well as the clock?
Conti's the man in motion into the backfield. Instead, the give is to the up back. Lance Woods, no breathing room, suffocated right from the beginning.
Jacob Newell blew through that offensive lineman. He's on the right side. Just watch him. Broke through and right to make the tackle. No gain. It's going to be 3rd and long.
This is what the Tigers was able to do to the Devils on their first possession that went for a 3-and-out of the game. Get Lonsway and company into a passing situation and then let loose with that defensive front.
Now you have to remember, though, Lonsway over 1,100 yards receiving. You have the likes of Bryce Conti out there. Can he get it one-on-one? Or is Lonsway just going to keep it?
Derek all the way, finds a crease to the outside, and Lonsway into enemy territory, down to the Tiger 45-yard line. Big burst for a gain of 17 yards when they needed 8.
Or he'll just do that and keep it and use his speed off to the right side. Watch the replay. Fake even the sweep out to the right side, and he just bumps right off that line, breaks out to the right side. No contain out there for Springfield, and he gets the first down.
Snow continues to fall here at Euclid. As the officials, want to talk things over one more time.
3 carries, 39 yards for Derek Lonsway.
And they're going to need him, obviously, Travis, to carry the offense when he gets his opportunities like we just saw on that big 3rd down. They need Lonsway to break open some things. Here he is handing it off. Woods to the outside. He found a crease. Couple of flags come in.
I think they're going to get a hold on the left side of that offensive line to bring it back. Ran the jet sweep. It looked like it did throw off Springfield, thinking it was going to the right, but you see our pretty faces there on the replay as well. Went back the other side. It's going to be 10 yards back the wrong way for Carey, their first penalty of the night.
And on a night like tonight, with the elements being what they are, 10-yard penalties on the offensive side could be critical. We saw it cost the Tigers on their previous drive where they had to punt. Will the Blue Devils hurt themselves with this one? 1st down and 20 on the way.
Although we've already seen they have the ability to break a big run here. This is Springfield now. They can allow 3-4 yards, but can't give up this big play as they're going through the air.
Lonsway elects to break the pocket. Looked like they had a spy on him, but it doesn't matter. Aaron Groner couldn't get to him until it was too late. Flags come in late. Could be a late hit on the sideline.
Either that or I think there was a block in the back on one of the wide receivers for Carey. And that's what it's going to be. So they're going to go back even further by a couple yards. You're going to see the block coming up right here.
Yeah, it looked like the right call. Bryce Conti there. 2 hands into the back of the defensive back. So more penalty yardage racking up here for the Blue Devils. Be 1st and 25 now.
I think the only good thing with Carey that's going for them is the clock is still running, so they're going to be able to get out of the quarter, but got a long way to go to get to the sticks. They're going to spread things out.
Devils don't have 3 wide on very many formations. They do here. And they're just going to run it with Lonsway here near side. Lowers his shoulder. Knocked out of bounds here by Slike.
They're going to get about 8 yards out of the play, and that time Vallejo was able to get out in front and make a big block right there on the Tillo to allow him to get 8 yards back. Still 2nd and long.
Yep, Devils break the huddle. 3 wide yet again. Conti, the lone receiver down here to the near side. Vallejo to the right hip of Lonsway. Here's Derek. 5-step drop. Throws it to the outside, and it's going to be underthrown. Be incomplete. Came up a couple yards shy there of Austin Niederkor.
The wind might have had a little bit to do with that. It seemed like the ball wanted to go downfield, but just kept getting pushed back. That's going to bring up 3rd and long. Carey 2 of 3 on 3rd downs here in this early game.
Fans up on their feet over on the Springfield side, trying to encourage their defense as Lonsway goes to the sky. A lot of contact. Conti able to bring it in well shy of the sticks, but another decent pickup and could be 4-down territory, Trav. This is an interesting part of the field at the 43-yard line, though it appears the punt team coming on. Probably the right decision with the lead going against a quarterback like a Bo Brungard. Try to pin back the Tigers if you can.
And I think they're going to be able to run this clock out as well. So maybe they think about it here during the break. But Carey, baby, up 7-0 after 1 in the state semifinal.
We're heading to 2 with the Blue Devils on top. You're watching State Final Four football exclusively on the OH Report.
% of my salary employees came from working out on the floor. They've went from loading a press to a staff member. Yeah, to be a team member here, you have to be a hard worker, extremely dependable, willing to work long hours, have good people skills. Here at the Carey plant, the sky's the limit.
Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
4th down, the Carey punt unit is on, and they're going to bomb this one into the end zone as we open up 2nd quarter action from a snowy Euclid. It's Carey on top of Springfield, 7-0. Brian Skronsky alongside Travis Berardi. It's been a fun chess battle back and forth so far. Carey, of course, with a nice long drive to get into the end zone. They threw the first blow. But can they absorb the pressure that's about to be put on here, I think, by the counterattack of Bo Brungard and company?
Well, penalties on both sides have really been a problem. 2 holding penalties on the last 2 possessions have stopped both sides from really getting something going. But like you said, the one possession where Carey was able to get something going, they got into the end zone. Now it's, can they keep the Bows in the backfield from getting any momentum now?
2 wide here to the near side. They'll put Joyce in the slot, Gardner on the perimeter. And Brungard taking it left all the way. Look at the crease. Wow, what a juke move. Left Lawn's way. Out of his shoes in the speed. Brungard into the open field. Throws Conti down to the ground. Still running.
Wow.
Bo Brungard, 80 yards on the house call like he was late for dinner.
My goodness. We were saying they needed to contain him, but he had a bit of an opening, and he did the rest himself. Juked a couple guys, got some open space, and then he stiff arms a would-be tackler.
Which is Conti.
Yeah, right
typically
here.
A solid tackler, and that opened things up to take it the rest of the way, about 20 more yards. A diving Anthony Bell had no shot. Bo Brungard could be Mr. Football at the end of the season. You see right there on that burst exactly why.
And that was the question. Could they contain him for this whole game? No. He now has 5 carries for 100 yards.
But the Carey defensive unit comes in and gets a block. I think it was Summit clearing a piece of that one. So they'll stay on top 7-6 as we'll take one more look at the Slate Hair Studio touchdown run by Bo Brungard on the Houk Hardware replay. The speed with that size, Travis, he's not real tall. He's about 6 feet, but over 200 pounds. He's a thick kid. I'm told that he's a gym rat. He loves working out. throwing around some iron. You see there, he's a lot stronger than your average high school kid, which a lot of these Carey dudes are. But, man, some of those stiff arms, whew.
Well, just the acceleration. Once he got through that line, he accelerated and beat 3 or 4 Carey defenders immediately and had to allow Conti, who he was hedged a little bit by a wide receiver, tried to catch up, but Bo just made him look bad. Although, if you were to ask Carey going into this game, with 11:38 left in the second quarter, you're leading 7-6, I think they'd take it.
You always like being on top. Anytime you can be in the driver's seat, control your own destiny, you gotta like your odds. Carey getting the football back after the one-play drive by the Tigers.
They need an answer. Tigers got some of that momentum back. They didn't get the extra point to completely get momentum back. You still have the lead, but if you can come down and score, that'll settle things down and keep you in the driver's seat.
Brungard also got it teed up to kick it away. And it's going to be a lone line driver. Takes a couple of hops all the way back to Conti inside of the Blue Devils 10. He's got a couple of blocks forming here to the outside. But an excellent tackle is made on the special teams play by Joey Sandine.
Yeah, nice open. If it wasn't for him making that shoestring tackle, Conti might still be running right now to quickly answer. But you see right here, just able to wrap up and get the spin tackle. Carey starting off inside their territory.
It'll be a Slate Hair Studio first down for the Blue Devils, who break the huddle. Looks like they're going to have their tight set. Conti on the wing on the right side. To the left is Summit. And they'll give it to Jordan Vallejo to the right side. Didn't have any cutback lanes. Nice tackle made there in space by Bo Snyder and this Tigers defense, taking him down as a pack of Wildcats.
Yeah, Vallejo maybe could have gotten a couple extra yards there if he would have went straight ahead, but he thought maybe if I get to the outside, I could get more. No, not the case. The Tigers able to stay and contain on that outside, make the tackle, and make that a 2-yard gain instead of a 4 or 5-yard gain. Seven carries, 24 yards for Vallejo here at the beginning of the second quarter.
8 men packed in the box as they go play action this time. Lonsway airs it out. Conti got the catch. Finds a lot of dudes, including Bo Brungard in white jerseys, as the ball comes out late after forward progress. Not sure they even gained a yard on that one.
Yeah, maybe 1 yard at all, but good job again. Tigers were not fooled by that swing pass. 3 people there immediately to take him down, and once again, it's going to be 3rd and long for the Blue Devils.
Big play coming up here for this Carey offense. Definitely don't want to surrender the football back to Bo Brungard and company quickly after a 3 and out. As Lonsway takes a snap from the 27. Looking to the right to Bell all the way. Squeeze it in there perfectly. Excellent looking catch. It's just not going to be enough.
No, that's about 3 yards short of the first down here. And we'll see if the Blue Devils will punt this away, which they should, back in their own territory.
Excellent coverage that time by Gardner. Brungard came up from the safety position to make the stop. And we've seen on occasion Carey will have Lonsway just back up and punt away the football. They just need 2 yards, though, and this is an offensive unit that feels like they can get 2 on any given down. They'll try it with Vallejo, and he will move the chains and a lot more.
He's still up.
Carey in the pile with them out to the 45-yard line. We'll call it a dozen yards when they just needed 2. Big Carey by 24.
And that is a momentum-shifting play there as Jordan Vallejo just carries 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders and then about 3 of his own offensive players 10 yards downfield. Huge conversion for Carey as they keep moving along.
And the onions to call that from your own end too, Travis. Give some credit to the coaching staff of the Carey Blue Devils. Lonsway with a great-looking fake. And then the pitch, too. He's got enough to move the chains, and we're going to have another Slate Hair Studio first down.
And once again, Lonsway kept it in the breadbasket until the last second, made the Tigers commit. As you see, he stripped it right out the last second. 2 linebackers went the wrong way, and he's able to get 10 yards out of that for the first down. In the Tigers' territory now, as we come up on 8 minutes left in the half. But going back to that 4th down conversion, remember that down the line.
They'll give it to the kid who moved the chains on that carry. Nearly did the same here. Vallejo off the toss. More quality yards. Give him 7. As you see Lonsway out lead blocker, the quarterback, opening things up.
And you're starting to see this Tiger line maybe a little bit discouraged after not stopping that 4th down conversion, because the last 2 carries by Carey have been 7 and 10 yards.
Come out with a tight set here. 8 men fill the box for the Tigers. And it's Vallejo straight ahead. Once he lowers that boom, baby, you better be prepared for a collision. You're going to get one. And there it was. Vallejo got another couple of yards. Guess what? It's another Slate Hair Studio first down.
And Vallejo now up to 50 yards rushing. And he's just bulldozing now. I think he's got a full head of steam out here. And if he can keep doing this, I don't know if the Tigers are going to have to stop him here on this possession.
That's why they try to keep the Winnebago fresh on offense. Does not get in on the defensive side, a man that large. That way he can keep the engine roaring. He will again. Another carry, Vallejo. Driven down to his back after another gain of about 6-7 yards.
And Lance Woods with a huge block out there as the lead blocker. As you take a look right here, taking out that linebacker and giving him a little bit more space. As Vallejo kind of pushed back and falls on his hind end on there, but he's all right.
And it takes 2 men to bring him down. Lucas DeTillo had him from the top side after a gain of 6. Second down, Lonsway under center, tosses it. Bell looking to catch the edge instead. Jukes inside. Knocked down right at the chains, Trav. It's either going to be 3rd and real short or first down, and looks like they're going to mark him about 1.5 feet shy.
Yeah, but watch this. That cutback right at the end gave him what I thought was the yard needed to get the first down, but it got him maybe a half yard short as we got a timeout on the field. Might be for it's for an injury. We got an injured corner out there by Springfield, but man, you're thinking the Tigers are going to get a stop, a 3-and-out, but coach from the Blue Devils able to call on 4th and 3 the play for Vallejo. He gets a huge chunk, 2 more big chunk plays, and instead of the Tigers having the ball and possibly having a chance to score, it's Carey now on the move inside the red zone with a chance to retake that momentum, only up 7-6.
Well, you love the call when it works out. You hate the call when it doesn't. So for right now, the intestinal fortitude by Carey to run it on 4th down out of their own end. Right now, it looks like it might pay dividends as they're knocking on the door of the red zone. And last time they got down there, were able to bulldoze their way into the end zone with the Winnebago. We'll see if they can keep it on the move just outside of the 20 here, now from the 22.
Last 4 carries for Vallejo, 12, 7, 7, and 6. And Lonsway easily going to get the 3rd down conversion and the first down for the Blue Devils.
So it's another Slate Hair Studio first down on the way. As Lonsway hands it off straight ahead there for Woods. Able to move the sticks.
6 carries, 63 yards for Lonsway. 11 carries, 56 for Vallejo. That's another compliment to Vallejo. You said keep him gassed up. Sometimes Lonsway is going to carry some of that weight for him to keep him fresh.
They'll hand it to Vallejo here, left side. And even though it doesn't look like a lot, Jordan's still able to fall forward for a pickup of a few.
Yeah, give him 3 yards on that carry. And watch him. He's hit for a moment right there and doesn't even go backwards or to the side. He just continues right through that that oncoming tackler and get 2 more yards after hit.
He's the closest thing to a human bowling ball we probably have playing in the state Final Four tonight in high school football. 24 is a rare talent, folks.
And I'm going to make a comparison you might not like. He looks like Jerome Bettis out there.
Nothing wrong with that.
I know you're a Browns fan. Oh, he got through!
Squeezing in between the crease and getting into the end zone for a Blue Devils touchdown. It's Landon Kemmerly making a difference on the offensive end.
Kemmerly making the big defensive plays and then the huge 15-yard run. And Carey, they got all that momentum back. They're up 7 once again. I didn't know who had the ball at first, but Kemmerly for a couple seconds in the pile and then whoop, right out. No one touches him into the end zone.
Almost looked like a rugby scrum. Everybody pushing one way or the other, and then all of a sudden just squeezing through out onto the other end. The senior. And Carey's lining up to go for 2 here, Travis. I think it's going to force a Springfield timeout. It will. The Tigers want to talk things over. So I'll take a quick second to thank some of our fantastic sponsors that allow us to bring you tonight's broadcast free of charge to fans. No need to enter your credit card information ever with the OH Report. Thank you to Burson-Bakies Insurance, located in the heart of Carey at 105 West Finley Street. Triple C Electrical and Construction, who wants to thank Marine Jordan Dasher for his service, hanging out over in Japan. Danner's Towing and Recycling. Big or small, they tow them all with 24-hour service from their 2 locations in Sycamore and Upper Sandusky. Houk Hardware, Carey's do-it-best hometown hardware store, located at 100 East Finlay Street. HDER Link, wireless internet serving the Carey area. And Teijin Automotive Technologies. Join their team at TeijinAutomotive.com.
Brian, before that carry, Landon Kemmerly had 11 carries for 7 yards. He doubled that up in the biggest game of his life. 15-yard touchdown.
They try it straight ahead here. No signal yet. Referees running in, and they say no good. So the gutsy move by the Devils on 4th down works. But then the 2-point conversion, they come up inches shy here. As we'll see the Tigers stack in the box. They tried it with Kemmerly again, straight ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's the touchdown. Fooled me, baby. It's like, wait, that didn't count for 2? Looked pretty good to me.
Keeps it a 7-point game. Not quite sure what the decision was to go for 2 there, an extra point, but maybe the kicker might be something with him, or maybe he just wanted to try and extend that out to make it a possible 10-point game. If they could, down the line get another score, another 2. It's a 10-point game instead of an 8. But anyway, it's still 7 points.
Well, your math is still a little bit flawed. I know you're from West Virginia. They don't teach you the math really great. It would have been a 9-point differential, but still 2 possessions out there, Travis. So they would have to get a touchdown and then something else, whereas now it leaves it open to Brungard and company to just get the touchdown in the PAT. My guess would be just maybe the kicking conditions aren't real swell out there on the field. You see the snow coming down. It has been heavy, and then the American flag blowing pretty hard right now. So there's a decent breeze out there on the field. Probably just looking to keep the offense on the surface. And, hey, if you can get 2 points, Travis, obviously it's pretty awesome.
Nonetheless, Carey's up. They're up 7. They answer a big play by the Tigers. They take a ton of time off the clock, up just about 10 minutes to be exact. So we're back to the start of the second quarter pretty much.
On the return here.
Nice tackle.
It's going to be an excellent open field tackle right there. Connor Norden making the stop. Austin Niederkor came in there as well.
Great coverage by the Blue Devils where nobody was blocked. Half of the kickoff team down there swarming. And they used the wind to their advantage there, Brian. That was a deep kick, and it allowed that coverage team to get down there and make the tackle.
.427 remains before the break. Brungard, the lone man in the backfields, quarterback keeper all the way. And Bo steps out of bounds after a gain of around 5 yards. His short distance bursts and just the choppiness of his feet this guy, dangerous. You know, it doesn't even take a hit here.
Well, he
as
actually
Bell went flying by.
Lance Woods had position, and he faked him out just a little stutter, made Woods go inside. He was able to get out and get another 5 yards.
Brungard looks over to the sideline, see if they want to change the play.
Big possession for Springfield. They can somehow find some points. They do get the ball to start the second half.
Pitches to Gardner off the option look. Devils handle him. He's going to be close to first down yardage. I think stopped just a bit shy. And there's a new wrinkle here to the Tigers offense.
2 yards on the carry. He'll bring up third down and 6 inches, maybe?
They don't need much. But time potentially becoming a factor here. As they bring Gardner in motion. But there'll be a handoff to Snyder. Carey read it all the way. He's gobbled up, gang tackled in the backfield, and look at the emotion displayed by Cooper Broadman, who flew in to help make the stop.
My question is, why didn't they go under center for that play? You only need 6 inches. You just lean ahead, but instead you're in shotgun. You're about 5 yards behind, and Carey taking advantage, getting the big stop, and now Springfield, instead of getting a first down here, they have to punt.
So Joyce is out on the field, potentially to kick it away. It's 4th down and 2. Tigers at their own 23. And it's going to be a high punt, angled toward the far sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds. Should give the Blue Devils fantastic field position, their best of the night.
Referee still moving down the field, past the 35, down to the 32, and the wind really played a factor there, not only going downfield, but it pushed it out of bounds after maybe 15 yards on the kick and carry. Right back into business here. Big stop. Springfield 0-3 on third downs thus far.
It goes down as just a 10-yard punt. So Springfield on a questionable third down call. Forces a punt, and it sets up the Blue Devils here with 2:48, 32 yards away from making it into the end zone. Lonsway with the fake. Wrestled down after a gain of a couple.
And that 3-and-out did nothing to help the defense of Springfield after that long 10-minute drive. They ran maybe a minute off the clock, and they're right back out there. So Carey, they're sitting right into the game of Carey right now. Just slowly pushing you back, wearing you down like we said in the pregame. If they continue to do this, Carey likes to pounce on people in the fourth quarter once they do that.
Jordan Vallejo on a 2nd and 8. Spins his way forward somehow for a pickup of 5. Looked like he might be stopped dead in his tracks, but when this locomotive's coming through, you tend to just either get out of the way or he will spin off of you. That's kind of his go-to move that he has perfected throughout the course of this season.
And that puts Carey right back into the plan. 3rd down and 4. You know this is 4-down territory. Just need to get a couple yards per gain out of there, and they're going to get it all right here. He's at least going to be close to the first down, maybe short by a couple inches, say a yard.
Anthony Bell on the carry. From the mark on the far side, he is going to be short. Be 4th down, less than 1 is what will be needed for the Blue Devils, so they're going to send in their heavy hitters. Carmen going to go into the huddle. And you know they're going to roll the dice with all those big bodies. Vallejo will be the second back with Bell behind him. We'll see who gets the rock. It's going to be Lonsway.
Wow.
Solid crease.
Oh, ball on the ground. He lost it.
And they do, according to the official. So a turnover. The Tigers come through with a huge defensive play as Lonsway squirted through, had the first down yardage, but the hit down low made the ball come loose, and it's recovered by Springfield. Huge play.
They perfected that. Quick snap. He had a hole, but just lost the handle as he was going down. easily a first down for Carey, but instead Springfield gets the huge turnover on downs and at least go into the half down 7. They still have 58 seconds. They still have 2 timeouts.
And more importantly, of course, they stop Carey from having the short field and capitalizing with some points. Brungard looked like he lost his footing, slid down right at the line of scrimmage for no gain on first.
Yeah, that time there were 3 defenders there waiting for him, and maybe he wanted to make an extra cut. Feet come out under him on this turf surface. There's about a 1/4 inch of snow on the ground. Even the best players slip up every once in a while on a turf like this.
It appears the Tigers going to be content to take it into the break, down by 7, though they'll snap it one more time. Likely run it with Brungard. As the man in motion, yeah, Gardner lost his footing. Bow straight ahead, maybe a yard. And that is going to bring us to the end of the first half. Carey on top, 13-6 over Springfield, who's looking to get to the state championship game for the 3rd consecutive time. Carey trying to break through to the state title match for the first time since 1975. Stick with us. We'll have both halftime bands performances on the way, break down the opening half stats, and then get you ready for quarter number 3. You're watching Final Four football exclusively on the OH Report.
%94 of my salary employees came from working out on the floor. They've went from loading a press to a staff member. Yeah, to be a team member here, you have to be a hard worker, extremely dependable, willing to work long hours, have good people skills. Here at the Carey plant, the sky's the limit.
Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright yellow lace bags and noses frostbitten, snack table spread that is fit for a king. These are a few of my favorite things. Bags of Tostitos with salsa and queso, Lays and Doritos if I have my say-so, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the lights glow, but the fuse blows, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, warm fuzzy feelings and cards all handwritten, this smart food popcorn all tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Music with sleigh bells and gifts incognito, play Secret Santa with family and Cheetos, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the guests leave and the fam's gone, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so
The Carey Blue Devils in their 13-game win streak. Can they make it 14 in a row and click their ticket to Canton into the state championship? Or will it be Springfield for the third consecutive year? It's halftime. It's 13-6. The Blue Devils on top. I'm Brian Skronsky, joined by Travis Berardi. Exciting first half of football. Had a lot of different elements, including the elements out here with the snow coming down. So clearly that's had an impact. And as we're going to look at the stats here in just a second, Travis, I think that there's a little bit of surprise out there in terms of how good the Blue Devils defense was outside of one play.
And that's the play that's kept Springfield into this game. An 80-yard touchdown run by Bo Brungard, the first play of their possession. They have, as you'll see on the stats, they have no first downs. That's the one big play. The other 3 times, they went 3 and out. They did get the ball at the end of the half on a Lonsway fumble recovery, which actually could have given Carey a chance to extend on that lead a little bit more. But other than the one play, it has been all Carey Blue Devils as they have been able to contain the Bows other than that one play.
And then offensively for Carey, they haven't had to throw it much. We know that. Typically, they ground and pound you, and they got a lot of different guys that will carry the football, led by Derek Lonsway and Jordan Vallejo.
Lonsway, 7 carries, 60 yards. He does have that fumble at the end of the half. Vallejo, 13 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Carey doing what Carey has done all year long, and the big turning point in that first half was going for it 4th and 3 in their deep in their own end. They get a big play, and after that, 3 huge chunk plays that quickly got them deep into Springfield territory. They end up punching it in and taking that 13-6 lead. Now Springfield, they get the ball out of the half, so we'll see if they can make some adjustments and get right back into this game, tie things up. But right now, it's all Carey.
Definitely been some pivotal plays in the game. You talked about the Brungard big touchdown run that's got them on the board, their only points of the night. And then that Lonsway fumble, too. They were moving in inside of the 20-yard line. Looked like they might get some points and really turn this game up on its head, have a 2-score advantage heading into the break. They also went for the 2-point conversion, which could have made it a 2-possession game. Both of those didn't work out in favor of the Blue Devils. So Springfield, they still got a heavy pulse going on here, and excited to see what they're going to do with the football here to open things up. With no first downs yet, Travis, are they able to sustain a drive, put together a few first downs, and really drive it into Blue Devils territory? Or is this Carey defense just too stout, man? We've been talking about it over the last few weeks since we've had them on our broadcast, holding opponents during the postseason to 5.25 points per game, and on the season, through 14 games, under 9 points per contest. So this is a great defensive unit that we've seen grow throughout the postseason and get even better. It's really hard to fathom how dominant they've been, outscoring their foes by 21.5 points per game. 25.5 during the tournament.
Well, something that Springfield is going to need is they're going to need at least a couple first downs on this first possession because their defense has been out on the field for most of this game. If you go by time of possession, it's going to have to be probably 18 minutes to 6, something like that, because those 3 and outs, Springfield hasn't gotten anything going except for that one run. So the defense really tired out there. They were thankful they got that fumble recovery because, you know, they were able to run out the time. They were able to get in the half and get some energy back. But the Springfield offense outscoring opponents 152-53 in the postseason, 589 total points. You think something's got to give. You think make a couple adjustments, you can get right back into this. But right now the defensive game plan of Carey has been phenomenal.
They have really kept Bo Brungard, who is committed to Youngstown State, under control throughout this game. And you're talking about a guy who's had a legendary career, over 6,000 passing yards, 70 pass touchdowns during his career, and only 10 interceptions in 3 years as a starter. Has also run it for over 3,700 yards, and 72 times he's been in the end zone as a runner. So Bo, no stranger to playing in the big game, of course. He's helped lead the Tigers to the state championship game back-to-back seasons and looking to do it one more time. And waiting for them tonight could be Coldwater, the defending champions in Division 6. They've got a 21-6 lead over West Jefferson. And as mentioned, the winner of our game going to play the winner of that one.
And you have to think this weather has played its effects on this offensive game by Springfield, not really throwing the ball that much. Only 2 passing attempts because of the wind, and I mean, it's really coming down right now. It's hard to throw a football in this snow and in this wind, and that's just played into the hands of the Carey Blue Devils, who play that tough defense against the run, and then on the other end, they just pound it down your throat on offense. Carey came into this game allowing only 57 yards rushing per game. Now, Bumgard already breaking that with 1 play, but other than that, Carey has been really good against the run tonight.
So that is your Danners Towing and Recycling halftime as the Devils teed up, getting ready to kick it off to start half number 2, state Final Four football in a snowy Euclid, Ohio. And with that kick from Bell, it's a good one too. We've got the third quarter underway.
And they're going to say his knee was down.
I think that's probably the proper call. Nick Slyke off the catch.
And he had enough running room ahead of him where he could have gotten at least 20, 25 more yards or even more, because it looked like there was a good amount of blocking ahead of him, but had to go down to that one knee to catch it. And tough break for Springfield as they're backed
at their own
15-yard line. I think it's the 15-yard line. They have the lines, but they don't have the numbers.
Big props to Euclid for having one of those snow-blowing machines that come out and uncover these yard lines to make it a little bit easier to see. But still, the number is totally covered here tonight by the snow that's coming down heavy now to open up the second half. And how about a heavy hit, too, from Lonsway coming up, laying some wood after a gain of just a couple.
Yeah, it was a nice little swing pass, but Lonsway, one-on-one, wraps up, brings him to the ground, and only a gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Aaron Groner with the catch. 2nd down and 7 on the way.
But that's the game plan Carey's going to have to do, is one-on-one with those wide receivers and kind of stack the box to keep that running attack at bay.
Looks like Brungard and company going to switch the play. Looking over at Sean Guerrero for a change, and they're going to go back to the sky. Brungard lets it fly. A lot of contact. Flag comes in on Conti as he was locked up there in coverage with Gardner, and that's going to be a pass interference call.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Conti. He, last second, collided with the receiver, and that's going to be the first down of the game for Springfield. They'll get it anyway right now.
So it's a Slate Hair Studio 1st down after a pass interference call against the Blue Devils.
And now it's not a spot foul like it is in the NFL. It's a 15-yard penalty. So that'll bring up a 1st down now, just ahead of their 30-yard line. Got that lake effect, heavy snow coming down now.
3 wide, split out to the right side of Brungard for now. Jacob Joyce, the lone option here on the near side. Conti matched up one-on-one with him. Just one safety over top right now for the Devils. And Brungard again going to go to the air. And here's a step to the outside, overthrown though. That was that one-on-one matchup I was talking about. And Gardner.
He wanted a flag there, but I think that was overthrown nonetheless. Wanted a little contact, but not much there.
Following the incompletion, 2nd and 10 now for the Tigers offense. Devils with just 3 down linemen.
Shifting to the right.
That's Stahl and Steen over on this right side. Woods showing the blitz.
It's going to be a keeper.
Going down low to help make the stop there for Carey, Cooper Broadman.
Nice job by him to stay and contain, make the tackle. Broadman, 64 tackles coming into this game. Makes it 3rd down and long on the stop.
So controlling Bo Brungard so far here in this contest, outside of the one explosive touchdown run. And he's going to need at least 6 here on this third down to move the chains. Devils just rush 3 as the pocket moves right side. Bo tucks it and drop down after a pickup of maybe 3. So 4th down coming up. And we'll see if the punt unit trots on here for the Tigers.
I think that was Kemmerly that came out and made the tackle from behind. And I think Springfield's going to go for it here.
Looks like the Tigers offense is on the field. They need a couple. So Snyder to his right hip. Now motions to his left.
And now a timeout by Carey. I like the timeout here. This could be a big moment in this game because if Carey can get the ball back, they'll have a really good chance at taking full control of this game. On the other side, if Springfield can keep this going, they're going to get some of that momentum back.
Big possession coming up here, and really a huge play on the 4th down. Can really change the momentum. Carey with the touchdown lead right now. Tigers looking to answer the call here. And it'll be interesting if they do come out of the timeout and trot on the punt unit, or if they elect to go with the offense. The snow's coming down real heavy right now, Travis, of course, so points are going to be at a premium here tonight. Do you risk turning it over in your own side of the football field at the 41-yard line with the traction on the field the way it is? I mean, it's a tough call either way.
Well, you got to remember it was 4th and half a foot, and Carey had the big stop.
Man.
And the way it's set up, we might be seeing one of those quick pooch kicks here. I don't know.
It's going to be Brungard running all the way right side.
He didn't get it.
Into
He got
the
stopped
back
again.
of his own lineman. Stuffed up the Blue Devils. Come up huge on 4th down for the 2nd time tonight. And it's the 2 defensive linemen, Stoll and Steen, still in the show.
Once again, I don't understand why you're taking the shotgun snap by yourself 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, because it allows Carey to read it, get to the position, and make the stop. It's the 2nd time that's happened, and that's the 2nd time Carey has been up for it and made the big stop. Now they have a chance, short field, they can get in the end zone, make this a 2-score game. They control this one.
That's why sometimes when you make a gamble play like they just did, it can come back to bite you. We'll see if Carey can capitalize on the short field. It's Vallejo left side. Puts his head down, falls forward again. About 4 or 5 yards on the gain. That's what Jordan Vallejo does.
And that's exactly what Carey's game plan is. Get 4 or 5 yards at a time. That gives you a 1st down in 2 to 3 plays. It keeps the sticks moving, keeps the clock moving, and it wears down the defense.
Vallejo, who's well over 1,400 yards now on the season, averaging just shy of 100 per game.
And this Carey offense, 345 yards per game offense.
Extra yardage not available that time. The Tigers come in, create the scrum, and they'll create a 3rd down situation here for the Carey offense, needing about 4 from the 35-yard line. And they'll have to get real close down to the 30.
And this is 4-down territory for Carey, deep here in the Springfield territory, down towards the 35-yard line. Try and at least get 2 yards on this. Make it a 4th and 2 or less if you can't get the 1st down on this play.
Vallejo, the deep back. They toss it to him right side. He's got a hole.
Easily.
And met right at the sticks. Push backwards, but forward progress. Going to give him a 1st down.
Give it to your bell cow. Give it to Jordan Vallejo, who's still pretty fresh. Only his 15th carry of the night. Last week we saw he's about 22, 23 carries and still going at it. And he's had a full head of steam since that 4th down conversion. He's been really bringing out the chunk plays. This is football weather, Brian. This is beautiful.
Late November, wrapping up your Thanksgiving weekend with Lonsway back to throw. Play action, got a man, got a completion, wide open on the near sideline. E.J. Bowes with a catch and forced out of bounds inside the red zone.
Needed 10, got 12. Another first down for Carey, and beautiful play action. Fakes the handoff. Bowes slips through, wide open. And we're going to have a timeout for an injured Springfield player down inside the bench of Carey.
And I think it might be Bo Brungard who delivered the blow. It was a big pop, Travis, on the junior Bowes.
And that's big because that's the running back for Springfield that helps out with Brungard in the backfield. So hopefully he's just, a little bit of a stinger, got the wind knocked out of him. He looks like he's all right, so that's a good sign. But the Blue Devils, they're driving now. Big completion. We thought they were going to stick to the ground. Completely fooled everybody with the pass there.
And Bo giving the thumbs up to the officiating crew. Lets him know he's going to be all right, though he will have to check out for at least one play after the clock stoppage. With 7:30 to go here in the third. Carey on top, 13-6, trying to add on to the advantage here. Great facilities here at Euclid.
This game actually was supposed to be played in Sandusky, but due to some staffing problems, they called the folks here at Euclid, and I'm glad they did. This is, like you said, a beautiful facility. It's like a horseshoe. Press box is nice. It's a cool atmosphere for high school football.
Vallejo right side, gets to the edge, running through some arm tacklers, and 4 Tigers all converge finally to bring him down after a pickup of 6.
I'm speechless at the way he runs the ball. He just runs you over. I feel bad for the first person trying to make the tackle there because you're going to get knocked backwards. You just have to hope there's 4 or 5 guys behind you like in that play, but he still gets 6 yards.
It was Slack that time, giving up a whole 100 pounds in that scenario.
77 yards on 16 carries now, Vallejo.
Being a 3-point stance, Bell behind him. And they give it to the first man through the hole. That's Kemmerly, who had the touchdown run earlier in the game, his first of the season.
2 more yards, cuts that in the half. Now it's about 3rd and long, 2-3 yards.
And Brungard back out onto the field, defending at the safety spot for the Tigers. And needing a big stop here.
Just can't afford a loss on this play, Brian.
They're going to give it to Vallejo, the second man through the hole. Takes a big pop at the end of the play, but he's got plenty to move the sticks. It was Snyder coming up to finally make the stop, but 3 guys, of course, had to be there to bring down number 24.
5 of 9 on 3rd downs now, 11 first downs. And Vallejo up to 84 yards rushing on a 7-yard carry. 1st and goal coming down to 5 minutes. Carey doing everything right here in this 3rd quarter. They got the 3 and out. They're running half of the quarter off, and they have a chance at taking a 2-touchdown lead, which feels like a 3 or 4 touchdown lead just with this weather and everything.
It's going to be Jordan again. Bouncing off of guys and into the end zone.
He just carried 2 defenders 5 yards into the end zone. He would not be denied.
Jordan Vallejo back into the end zone for a Slate Hair Studio TD. And that was just straight physicality, want-to, drive, effort. Number 24 would not be denied 6 points on this carry.
Right at the line of scrimmage, he breaks a tackle, then carries a defender 5 yards. He just went for a sleigh ride with Vallejo into the end zone.
One horse open Vallejo out there, Travis.
Those are supposed to be my puns there, but I appreciate the effort. Extra point up and good. Blue Devils feeling pretty good right now.
Take one more look at the touchdown run, the second of the night for Jordan. He's already got the school record for touchdown runs in a season. That's number 33, adding to his already impressive senior season. And most importantly, if you're a Blue Devil fan, you see the scoreboard, the margin widening a little bit. 14-point cushion here, and even as explosive as Brungard and company can be on occasion, Travis, 2 scores in this weather as well as Carey defends you, only giving up 5.25 points per game. This is going to be tough, I think, for the Tigers. This will be their biggest challenge that they've faced since week 1.
And especially defensively, they have not allowed a first down on the ground. Now, due to penalty, they allowed the only first down from Springfield. But other than that, they have controlled the pace. Just don't give up another big play touchdown. Even if Springfield, drives down the field, possibly scores, but takes off time off the clock, that's fine. You're still up 7. It's just not the 1-2 play big touchdown run that gets some momentum back for the Tigers.
Defensively, the third quarter has been where Carey has shined the brightest so far this year. They have only allowed 14 points in 14 games.
And this is a squad from Carey that they've been so close to making regional championships and possibly state Final Fours and just missed out. So they have that chip on their shoulder. And speaking of big play, one man to beat.
Nick Slyke on the return. All the way down inside the 25-yard line. Bursting through with a big head of steam. Exactly what the Tigers needed. The senior delivers.
Almost back-to-back weeks where he takes one to the house. He took one 77 yards last week in the regional championship, and that little bobble really got Carey kind of thrown off there. He gets through the hole and nearly takes it back, and I just said this. You can't give up the big play to get momentum back. Now the defense is really going to have to, bend but not break here as Springfield has the ball at their 20 or 25.
Niederkorn with the touchdown saving tackle. It's a Slade Hair Studio first down for Brungard and company. Whispers some advice to Bo Snyder. Now fakes it to him, throws it out here wide. It's Slyke again. And churning out more yardage. He's going to have 8 on first down.
Good play to get 6-7 yards out of that. Bring up second down and short, something Springfield hasn't had tonight. Finally able to get a good amount of yards on first down. Referees will stop play for a moment to wipe down the ball.
Got to in these conditions. Brungard again from the gun, checks the sideline. Coach Guerrero and his staff trying to advance past the Final Four for a 3rd straight year. They'll bring Slyke in motion. They'll fake it to him. Brungard with the crease. And a sidestep. Jumps forward for a big first down.
Yeah, and once again, that little hesitation threw off the defender enough so he could get by him and get another. Right here. Just made the guy miss. Dives in, and it's 1st and goal after the gain of 9.
Brungard runs right, cuts to the outside, and Bo, untouched, going to trot into the end zone. The Youngstown State commit trims the deficit back down to a single score.
What blocking off the right side by the 2 wide receivers gave him plenty of room to dash through the snow into the end zone. One cutback block, another by the other Bo, and he stunts right into the end zone.
A.J. Stallsmith with an impressive block on the outside. Sealed off his man. Brungard did the rest. His 2nd TD run of the night. As he's looking to tack on the PAT here.
And this is a tough end to kick. It's an open end. The wind's blowing a little bit more, so trying to set up his footing. And now the referees are going to stop and, I'm guessing, wipe the ball off. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to move it off. They moved the ball about 6 inches to the right. Now they're ready to go again.
Stallsmith asked for it, and he receives. Brungard to hold. Kosek waiting to kick the PAT. It's a high snap, and it's going to go through from Kason Kosek. So we've got a 7-point game. Just under 4 minutes to go here in the third. Bo Brungard with his 73rd rushing touchdown of his glorious high school career.
And the big play, the big kick return set it up. Other than 2 plays, Carey has controlled this game on defense, but it only takes 2 plays to keep a game close. And it is 20-13 now, the Carey defense. Once again, long drive, took a lot of time off. Springfield answers quick, so that defense really didn't have a lot of time to get that energy back. So now can Carey, that offensive line, continue to go 4 or 5 yards down, take more energy out as they get into the fourth quarter.
Blue Devils tend to wear out their opponents, have only given up 42 second-half points all season long. They've also scored 235 during that stretch. So this is a team that gets stronger as the night progresses because they wear you out.
And they know how to close out games. You knew this was going to be a good one. You knew this was going to be a battle back and forth. Carey, it's just who wants it more. Can Carey finish the job here, or can Springfield, a team that's been to 2 straight state championships, pull it off once again to make it back to Canton?
Bell bobbles it, now scoops it up. Makes a nice move, but then planted by Joyce.
Vincent Woods grabbed him by the foot, because I think if he doesn't do that, it's a full head of speed, and he's through that hole. You'll see it coming up here right there. I think he's able to break that tackle if he's not taken down by the foot.
After the Tigers score, Carey offense looking to continue their momentum. And they'll toss it to Jordan Vallejo, looking to get back into the mix.
Still up.
This is a guy that always
still up.
Is looking for contact, and just a pile driver. 10-yard pickup, move the chains. It's a Slate Hair Studio first down.
Over 100 yards rushing. He was stopped 3 yards ahead. The offensive line pushed him forward enough to where the referees didn't stop his momentum, stop the play, and he just somehow breaks through and stumbles for another 6 yards for a first down. That's the effort of a champion right there.
Just because you got him wrapped up doesn't mean he's going down. You better hope you got some friends that got your 6 that can come up and help make the stop.
He told me in the post game last week that he's played with a chip on his shoulder. Not many people said the guy of that stature can run the ball, and all he has done is just bulldoze players this year. I am a huge fan of just the way he runs.
Tough, physical, gritty.
20 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. A ho-hum day for Jordan Vallejo.
Right at his season average, basically across the board there. After a pickup of 4. Vallejo, the deep back, and they're going to hand it on the counter play here near side, keeping his feet and picking up some extra yardage. Gage Summit.
Summit, great job putting the hand down to keep his balance. He would have been stopped behind the line of the game, but he was able to push himself back up, get another 4 yards, and get a big first down to keep Carey moving. Hides it for a moment, and right here, that's a great job keeping his balance and getting an extra 4 yards.
Blasted at the end of the play by Joey Sandine out of bounds, but he's out to the 46. As the Tigers stack in the box, they bring some heat. They run left. Bell moving forward. 5 more yards here for the Carey offense. And the guys up front really doing a job of creating a new line of scrimmage once the ball is hiked.
And you're just seeing the fatigue of this defensive line from Springfield really kicking in, because right off the snap, that offensive line of Carey is pushing them 2-3 yards back and opening up a hole to where these running backs can get 5 yards. Under 2 to play here in the third quarter. You'd like at least Carey to get out of this quarter with the ball.
Lonsway doing an excellent job in terms of controlling the clock as he took the snap at 7 seconds on the play clock. Pickup of a couple here on the carry by Lance Woods. So it'll make it 3rd down, short on the way for the Carey offense.
But once again, Carey's moved the ball far enough to where this, again, 4-down territory. All they need here at the least is a yard or 2 to set up a 4th and short. You get the 1st down, that's even better, but you still have a play after this to get the 1st down.
Third quarter almost in the books. Tigers showing blitz. They'll bring it. Vallejo just flattened a kid.
And he got the 1st down after running 2 guys over.
That is the definition of being on the tracks when the train is coming through. Choo-choo, Jordan Vallejo. Boom.
They stopped the clock for thinking it was a 1st down. He's close enough, but I don't know. They're gonna measure. They're gonna measure. So he got the 4 yards needed. It's just gonna be. Is it going to be a Vallejo run needing 6 inches, or is it going to be a 1st and 10?
Boy, what a physical run he just had there on that 3rd down play. And he's had a few of those highlight reel ones here tonight. Chain gang coming out. Good luck trying to find the lines that you need to out there on that field.
Now, mind you, the last time it was 4th and short like this, Lonsway kept it and fumbled. Easily a 1st down.
So it will be a Slate Hair Studio 1st down. Chain gang will get back on the move. And one more look at Vallejo lowering the boom there on the senior Marshall Yelkin Francelli.
And what I think helped there, as you saw on the replay, he fell backwards on a defender, so he wasn't officially down. So as he leaned backwards, he was still up. Then he leaned backwards. His forward momentum had taken him across that line, and that is why they gave him the extra yard.
Going to reset the play clock to 40 as the clock rolls.
50 seconds should be put back on the clock. As the clock was set at 25 after that, I think it should go to 40 to reset. And now we're good. So they can run this down to about 12, 11 seconds before they snap it.
Blue Devils definitely intend this to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. They've got the lead and looking for more. As the play clock down to 15 when they break the huddle. They'll do so with Lonsway coming up under center, 2 backs. Vallejo dotting the I. Conti in motion. And it's going to be the quarterback, Lonsway, getting to the perimeter. And an 8-yard pickup here to close out quarter number 3. We are headed to money time with the Blue Devils in front, looking to punch their ticket to the state championship. They lead it 2013.
.4% of my salary employees came from working out on the floor. They've went from loading a press to a staff member. Yeah, to be a team member here, you have to be a hard worker, extremely dependable, willing to work long hours, have good people skills. Here at the Carey plant, the sky's the limit.
Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Welcome to Money Time, State Final Four style. Carey knocking on the door here, 2nd down and 4 from the 30 with the football on a 7-point cushion as they bring Bryce Conti in motion. And instead, they'll give it to their 270-pound wrecking ball of a terror for all opposing defenses, Jordan Vallejo, who's got another Blue Devil first down.
You can just tell. You can just tell once he gets to that corner that he's going to get enough yards because you know even if there's somebody there, he's going to carry them 4 yards down. It's nuts. This kid continues to amaze.
And it's a Slate Hair Studio first down. He's Travis Brardy. I'm Brian Skoronsky. Under 12 minutes remaining here in regulation.
How cool is it to be here? State Final Four covering these area squads that we have. I love it. It's great for these communities.
The Northern 10 champions trying to become state champions. They're 1 win away of testing themselves. We think maybe against the defending state champs, as we'll check in on the other game going on in Piqua right now, and it's Coldwater with a 28-6 lead over West Jefferson. The Cavaliers, the defending state title holders, they knocked off Springfield in a dandy of a game and a game-winning field goal last season. Looks like they're going to be right back in the state championship where they seem to find themselves on a number of occasions.
Second half for Vallejo, 10 carries, all of them 4 yards or more.
He's the second back. They'll give it to the lead guy.
That's Kemmerly. And he is going to be close to the first down.
Stopping the time, so it appears that we might get a measurement. It's so hard to tell, of course, with all of the snow that's fallen on the field. I think the chain gang's going to have to come out and get another read on this one.
And, I mean, it's the right call by these referees. This is a state Final Four. You can't mess these up by trying to eyeball it. So, yeah, it's gonna stop the clock for a little bit. It's going to let the Springfield defense take a little breather, but it's also going to let Jordan Vallejo get some of that energy back.
And for Kemmerly, he's becoming a weapon on offense here tonight. Entered the contest with just 7 yards rushing on the season. He's been into the end zone once on the big run and might have a first down here.
3 times his season amount. He's at 21 yards on 3 carries. And just by the nose of the football, first down, Blue Devils. And they can run more clock. You got to think, if they can get this under 10 minutes and get into the end zone, I'll say it again, if they don't give up a big play, it's going to be tough for Springfield to get back into this. However, I said that last time, and Springfield proved me wrong about 30 seconds later.
Huge spot for both sides. Tigers, of course, would love for the differential to remain at 7 if their defensive unit can come up with a huge stop here, while Carey knocking on the door wants to taste Pater yet again for the 4th time tonight, extend this lead and get 1 step closer to their first state championship appearance since 1975. And it's going to be Jordan Vallejo.
Got it.
His team trucks his way in 15 yards. Parks the Winnebago and flex it on him.
Are you not entertained? He made that look like a walk in the park.
That's one aggressive walk through the park. That's the only kind that Jordan Vallejo knows how to enjoy. Here he is. Gets a nice lead block. But that's just 3 guys. I don't think they're just winning any part of them.
He just put his hand down, and the guy bounces off of him, and he strolls into the end zone. This is Vallejo just wanting it more than everybody else. He will not be denied. He will not be stopped. 136 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, and Carey going for 2 once again.
Lonsway under center, 3 backs behind him. Here's Vallejo left side reaching, not going to get it. Stop short. So it's going to be a 13-point game And both times Carey has gone for 2 tonight. They have been stopped by the Springfield defense.
Now this is big because say Springfield does get a touchdown here. They get a stop in the ball back. They'll have a chance to take the lead.
And there's another look at Jordan Vallejo, and here's a look at us, Travis Bryan, and hard not to be impressed from what we're seeing from Jordan Vallejo. And we talked on our podcast on Monday afternoon about why we thought Carey would have a chance. Obviously, the defense is dynamite, but offensively, they have a weapon that's so unique to the high school level. Even at the NFL ranks, there's only a couple of guys, really, that are as big, as wide, as physical as Jordan Vallejo. He's just he's a rare breed.
Yeah, and I said he's like an early Jerome Bettis. Right after he got traded from the Rams to the Steelers, how just that big build, elusive, he'll bounce off of tacklers, he'll spin out of tacklers, and more likely than not, a person of that stature isn't able to do that, but he has just worked his tail off these last few years, and he's the perfect running back. I hope he's been getting offers from schools to at least be a fullback because he is one heck of an offensive athlete.
Will the legendary career of senior quarterback Bo Brungard come to an end here in the state Final Four? They have broken through to the title game twice in the last 2 seasons. Carey looking to end that streak as they kick it deep, backpedaling and making the grab. Here's Slike. Reversing fields now. And he doesn't get too much further than beyond the 20. Actually, it's Joey Sandine on the return.
Broadman, that time, eyed him up, wrapped him up, and kept him from doing much more damage. So now Carey has Springfield backed up. Can they keep them from getting some big plays? Now they can. If Springfield runs 5-6 minutes off the clock and scores, that's all right. Just as long as Carey can get a couple first downs there. Now, if they get a stop here, even better. But just that Springfield doesn't score quick, it's going to help out the Blue Devils.
Empty set from the gun. Slide comes in motion. Fake to him. Brungard rolling right. Airs it out. Got a man wide open, leaking into the flat. It's Snyder. And he's going to have 10 yards on the completion. Clock stops at 9:58.
That's enough for the first down. That was a really nice play.
And that's a great look at our sideline camera person, Storm Blunchley, and what our guys will go through to get you those up-close shots that you deserve. Fans of the OH Report, throw some love and some warmth out to our guy Storm as it's storming out there on the sideline.
He's still getting the great pictures in his little house down there on the sideline.
Always does. Again, they bring the man in motion, fake the jet sweep to Gardner. Brungard loads up, going deep, and he's right through the arms of Jacob Joyce. Had not one but 2 steps on Bryce Conti, would have waltzed into the end zone for a huge touchdown. Instead, it's incomplete, and we'll call it 2nd and 10.
Sometimes you're too open. You overthink it, and it goes through your hands, and that was the case. That would have been 6, and that would have been another huge play for Springfield. But,
what placement on that pass by Bo Brungard. His father, a stud back in the day, won 2 national championships under Coach Jim Tressel at Youngstown State, where he is going to be headed next year, back in 93-94. Can he work some magic after that drop? Carey in here and loses the football. It is loose. Popped out of there. No whistle came in. Nathan Broadman forced it out. It's picked up at least for now. They're saying to Cooper Boardman. I think the correct call would be to mark him down, but you never heard a whistle. I know it's loud out here. A lot of fans for Carey barking that exact order. You never blew the play dead.
No. I saw one referee blow the play dead, but that was after Carey picked it up and ran out of bounds. After the call, we'll see the replay, but it's close. It's really close.
This is a long discussion here by the officiating crew. Let's hear.
Carey got it.
Arguably the biggest play of the game. Nathan Brodman forces the fumble. Cooper Brodman scoops it up. It's the brother connection. Brungard coughs it up in a huge situation.
He was on top of a defender when he came down and it popped out. That's the right call. He wasn't on the ground. He was on top of a defender. The worst of breaks for Springfield. And the right call.
So Brodman creating some chaos here. Excellent lick as the ball does come loose, but he's on top of
Beautiful
Nathan.
replay.
Shout out to Adam Thompson slowing that down for you folks. So you could see it all unwind right there, unfold, and looks like what's going to unfold here perhaps.
It's a sideline warning. It won't be 15 yards, but the Coach Guerrero unhappy with the call, but it was the right call.
And it's going to be a Blue Devil first down, a Slade Hair Studio first down here for the Carey offense, who can slam another nail here into the coffin potentially of the Tigers. And boy, what could have been on that deep pass, wide open, that was dropped by Jacob Joyce.
And how often do you see it one play slip through and then something completely changes the game on the next one?
Vallejo, jump cut, and this is what you got to do. 3 different Tigers converge to make the stop.
They're going to say forward progress was stopped, though.
Yeah, Springfield and their coaching staff not happy. Clearly, I think it was forward progress. He's down anyways, 2 knees and an elbow. And even on that, when you see 3 Springfield players come in, Jordan still picks up a yard.
Yeah, and that's all they need. They just want to run clock. They can get 2 first downs, get this under 5 minutes. It's going to make it really hard for Springfield to score twice. Lonsway's going to keep this one.
Oh, what a cutback by Derek Lonsway. Throws a stiff and got tripped up. Potential touchdown saving tackle by Sandine.
He's going to pick up 8 and just be close to the sticks. And I think the referee got in his way. He's trying to cut it back out. You'll see on this replay the referee got in his way, and he gets taken down just short of the sticks.
Great vision that time by Lonsway to see the opening to the right side of the field. And the clock becoming a huge factor now. It will be 3rd and short. 7:50 and counting to go here in the 4th quarter.
9 carries, 75 yards for Lonsway. Carey, 6 of 10 on 3rd downs. Make that 7 for 11.
Summit, I believe, was the ball carrier. And he's got enough. Chain gang on the move. And Carey getting a couple of yards closer here to securing their spot in the state championship.
After this play, it'll be under 7 minutes left. They're going to be able to run us down close to 5 minutes, even if they don't convert the first down. The last 2 offensive plays for Springfield just backbreaking to them right now.
Vallejo's going to grind out about 7 yards here on first down off the pitch play.
Up to 143 on the ground.
First contact, never usually enough to bring down the Winnebago. Three back set. Up man gets it. And off the power run straight up the gut. It's going to be maybe 2 yards on the gain this time from Isaac Carmen. 3rd and short on the way yet again here for this Carey offense. They've been pretty sharp on 3rd down tonight.
That's what they like to do. Set it up for 3rd and short. Give it to Vallejo, let him get 1 yard before contact and 7 more afterwards and move the sticks. But this is the Carey game plan. Get yourself set up in 3rd and short within 3 yards. Get you into that 2-down territory where most likely than not they're going to convert.
Going to get some movement. I believe it was Kemmerly.
That's going to hurt.
So the false start going to make this a lot more challenging. It'll be 6 yards instead of 1. And the Tigers catch a bit of a break. So Carey checks Lance Woods into the contest. They'll bring Kemmerly over to the sideline. Could be 4-down territory for this Blue Devil offense. Just looking to wind down that clock. They definitely take some more points. This gentleman's got 3 touchdowns, and he's got 3 guys on top of him, finally bringing them down. Jordan Vallejo gets 8 when they needed 6, and it's going to be a Slate Hair Studio first down.
Not surprised at all there, Brian. He got the outs. If he can get that corner, I said this on the last drive, he gets that corner, he's going to get at least 5-6 yards. That time he got 8. As you take a look at the other state Final Four game going on tonight, Coldwater after 3 quarters, 12 minutes away from another state championship appearance.
So it could be the Cavaliers versus the Blue Devils for the whole enchilada next Saturday, 3 o'clock in Canton, the birthplace of football. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, one of the best venues for football, period. This one's pretty nice, too, here at Euclid, where Vallejo spinning and winning about 8 more yards.
$156 yards now. Just the way, even late into the game, that Vallejo goes into the tackler and just goes with him, rolls off of him, jumps over them. But instead of going into the tackler, he kind of bounces off. And just the way he's able to do that athletically, it's the reason why Carey's here. Lonsway with the keeper this time. He's going to be close to the first down. Give him at least 4 yards. And another 3rd and short.
Carey's picked up the last couple on this drive. And just the hopes of getting back to the state title. You see just milking away on the clock, Travis. Down to 3.5 minutes to go.
Springfield does have their 3 timeouts, but you got to think even if Carey gets this first down, they don't turn the ball over, it's all but over. They get into the end zone, I think the folks in Carey can start celebrating a little bit early. Knock on wood, though. I'm not going to curse this one tonight, Brian. We have a referee stoppage.
I don't think the ball was set properly, at least when Carey broke the huddle and wanted to go snap it. Wasn't an option. And so they're going to reset the game clock to
put 3:40.
3:40, 25 seconds on the play clock.
So they can get it down to about 3 minutes, 17 seconds before they snap this. Then a first down, they won't even have to snap it until it's close to 2:30. Well, not even if they don't get the first down, they'll most likely go for it. So big 3rd down here.
Just about everybody comes for Springfield as the human bowling ball wrecking some bodies. And a first down run here for Jordan Vallejo. Move the chains.
19th first down.
And for Jordan, it was pointed out by Adam, he spends probably 30 or 40% of the time when he has the football running backwards, it seems.
Yeah.
Like he's got vision in the back of his head, just knows where to go, and creates contact with his backside oftentimes.
It's literally like you're playing a video game. You're playing Madden, just going back and forth, but this is real life for Vallejo.
Here comes Derek Lonsway near side, gets a block, and thrown out of bounds by Brungard.
They're going to say his forward progress was already stopped, so they're going to run the clock. Well, now they stop it.
Yeah, I think that's the correct call. Yeah, he should be out of bounds and give Springfield the benefit of the doubt after Lonsway broke loose for a run of maybe about 5 yards. Actually, it's going to force a Tiger timeout. They are going to say that he had forward progress in the field of play, Travis. So
it seemed like somebody got him by his jersey and yanked him backwards, and as he's going backwards, that's when he goes out of bounds. His forward progress was stopped, and it allows the clock to run, and that's a big play there because it wastes a timeout for Springfield.
And that's all Carey needs to do at this point. Boy, have they executed their game plan to perfection. And when you looked at our keys to the game early on, you know, box up Bo was that for me, and they have done that outside of one play, Travis. Yeah. It has been great to watch them, too, offensively, grinding out the yards that they needed. They haven't done anything outside of what we've seen from them week after week. Keep feeding a bunch of different ball carriers, but, of course, you got to give it to the beast, and he has been one out there. Jordan Vallejo, 3 touchdowns tonight, over 150 yards.
And you have to give it to the offensive line. What did I say at the beginning? Wear them down. Once you get to the fourth quarter, you can do whatever you want, and that is exactly what's happened as Carey's punched it in once already in the fourth, and they have a chance to put this away and go to the state championship game.
This their first Final Four appearance since 1994, knocking on the door of the state title and knocking on the door for the end zone. This time the Tigers stack up Jordan. Doesn't go too far. Timeout taken by Springfield. That's going to be their second one burnt.
But he still gets positive yardage, and he still makes Springfield burn a timeout. They're going to give him 2 on the carry. 162 carries now.
And so Jordan, I think our front runner to be Triple C Electrical and Construction Player of the Game tonight. Was an excellent interview a week ago in the regional championship win over Liberty Center. So trying to tame a pack of Tigers for the second straight week, and the Blue Devils just 227 away from getting it done.
And you know how I said at the half, only 13 carries for Jordan. He probably has a lot of energy.
Yep.
They knew that because he's at 30 now. So already 17 carries, up to 162 yards. This coaching staff knows exactly how to run this offense and how to save some of their players until late, until crunch time to close it out. And they are 6 yards away from doing that.
Saw them do it last week in a 31-7 win against Liberty Center, 42-14. They beat Crestview the week before after back-to-back shutouts over Tenor and Van Buren to open up their postseason journey, which could be headed to Canton as Lonsway turns. Heads up the middle. Derek Lonsway driven backwards.
Did he have enough for the first down? That's the big question. He might be short.
It looks like where it's marked, he is going to be a yard shy. 4th down already has been determined by the officials on the field. So Derek needed 4, got 3, and that was a good just face-to-face confrontation and winning some of that.
Springfield not using that last time out, though, so it can be run down to about 1:35 before they snap this. This is for the game. This is it right here. Carey now 1 yard away from going to Canton.
And they're going to let this milk all the way down to 1:35 before they burn a timeout. It's their second used here in the second half. And boy, can you feel it now, Travis? Just 95 seconds away. We've been watching this Carey team all year. Undefeated N10 champs, 7-0 in the league. Their only loss coming in week 1 against Hopewell Loudon, who we heard kind of getting smashed, but still playing tonight at this time of year in the state Final Four by Marion Local, who wins it every
It's tough. It's tough when you play Marion Local. I mean, we saw that a couple years ago with the Lucas Cubs and everything like that, but Marion Local just, you know, they're a tough team to play. But Carey, you know, in this coach's huddle right now, he's saying, hey, this is it. we've practiced all year long. We started in the heat of the summer, 90-degree heat. We've gotten to this moment, 1 yard away. Can you just, buckle down, get everything in your body to get that push, to get that 1 yard? They do that, they're going to go play for a state championship in Canton next week.
It is one of the coolest parts about football. You start in the grind. It's so hot in summer with all the armor on. You fight it out through the fall, and if you're lucky enough to be playing in late November, you get to mess around in the snow. That's what Carey's doing here, giving it to the up man, Carmen. Knocked down basically right away, but did he fall forward far enough to get a first down inside the 3-yard line to seal this Carey victory?
And I'm going to say they're going to have to measure. He got tripped up, but he fell forward.
I think very fitting that they should have to come out here and do this. And, Travis, I love some drama in my life and in my football games. I'd almost like to see Bo get another chance with the football here with an opportunity 97 yards away. Does he have some type of magic? We saw it last year in the state Final Four, some of the outbursts that he had, in particular in that state championship game against Coldwater. I think he had 5 total touchdowns. Does he get another chance?
He's short.
He will.
So now a minute 31, 1 timeout, 96 yards to cut this to 1 possession. You got to think Carey now going to play back, play a little bit of prevent. You might see Bo run the ball, but even if he gets a 20-yard gain, it's going to take time off the clock. And it's going to get Carey closer to the state title game. But hold the phones, hold the tickets for next week just for a little bit. Springfield needs 2 touchdowns still.
Long way to go here if you're doing one of those projections in terms of your percentage of chance to win. Carey's got to be at least, I would think, at about 98, 99% here. But there's always that X factor. Possibility here for this gentleman to be Mr. Football when it's all said and done. But his first pass to start this drive incomplete, too far on the near boundary for Gardner.
Was looking for that quick out to get out of bounds, but is well defended and just a little bit off to the side. Just out of his reach. Brings up 2nd down.
Blue Devils just rushed 3 and creating some pressure. Brungard has to roll out. Got his man in the middle of the field, but again, it's going to be dropped by Joyce.
Springfield 0 for 5, 0 for 4 on 3rd downs tonight. They have to get their first conversion if they just want to keep their season alive right now. Still 96 yards away from cutting this to a 1-possession game with only a minute 21 left.
Carey playing with 3 safeties.
If you're Brungard, you want this play to develop a little bit longer, maybe allow you to break away and get a long quarterback run. Got to at least get 10 yards to stop the clock, but if he can scramble enough, he might be able to get a big play that they need. Instead, they're going for the hook and lateral.
And it's going to work out. Oh, my goodness. Look at all the space in front of Bo Snyder, who finally gets pushed out of bounds by E.J. Bose, the 3rd safety into the game. Huge chunk play right there. Going to go for 50-plus.
The good old hook and lateral. Gets one man to miss, takes off down the sideline. And gets to the midfield strike, a 46-yard play.
So the Tigers dipping deep into the playbook. And they come up with almost a 50-burger on that play. 1st and 10 now. Brungard throws it. Dropped again. 3rd straight by Joyce.
So many drops tonight by Springfield that could have turned into big plays. And, I mean, we have to go back to a couple possessions ago where it just went right through his hands, 10 yards away from an open touchdown. Couple big plays tonight. Twice the Tigers were turned down on 4th and short. You had that drop there. Change those 3 plays. This would be a completely different ball game right now.
Snyder's going to be the lone back to the right hip of Brungard. Back to pass, 3-step drop, looking, plenty of time. Now he's got to break the pocket, throws on the run, intercepted by Bryce Conti. That's going to seal the deal. Stamp your tickets to Canton. You're headed there. State championship bound on the Carey Blue Devils.
And who else but Bryce Conti with his Northern 10 leading 8th interception. One of the keys of this defensive secondary tonight was Conti. If he could shut down their best wide receiver and possibly get a pick, it would be the difference. And he just solidified Carey's spot in the Division 6 state championship next Saturday.
Just the 11th interception of Brungard's illustrious career, but that one is going to sting as it's going to be a game-ender. Carey going to be able to be 2 kneel downs away from moving on to Canton.
The best formation in all football, Brian. Victory formation.
And there's one for Derek Lonsway. He'll just have to do it one more time, and Carey fans, rejoice. You're moving on to the state finals.
Wow, just what a performance by the Carey Blue Devils.
And look at us wearing blue here tonight, trying to blend in here with the home
Phenomenal game plan. You know, they gave up one big play, a big kickoff return, but other than that, the defensive game plan against this squad. Destiny. They're a team of destiny. They've been so close in the last couple of years. So close, unable to do it. Then they get the team this year. Jordan Vallejo's played out of his mind. Lonsway's played out of his mind. Bryce Conti's a shutdown corner, shutdown defensive back. Everything's come together. And Carey, you're going to state.
You see Brungard hunched over there at midfield. He can't believe it. I imagine he's got an ache in his belly that is hard to describe to anybody. The hurt that you must feel when you feel like in your senior season, all the accolades he's had, and then you don't get back with an opportunity to try to clinch that state championship that has eluded him. Instead, it's Carey, baby.
It's Carey, baby.
They're moving that train on to Canton.
And the Carey folks, once again with the fireworks in the parking lot, shooting them off here. They might have a chance. I don't know if they're going to be allowed to, but they have a chance to possibly shoot some more fireworks off next week. But how about this? Carey is playing the final game of the regular season in Division 6. They get to play for a state championship.
Would be their first one since 1975.
And they're going to be playing Coldwater. Coldwater 35-13 victors over West Jefferson. Carey versus Coldwater as they're doing snow angels in the end zone.
You want to talk about a team having a good time out here, enjoying this victory, and how sweet it must taste for the Blue Devils. Haven't been to the Final Four since 1994. Just the third time that they've been after winning the state championship in 1975. The first time that they actually got into the postseason. 10 wins in the playoffs over the last 5 years. Just progressively taking the next step, building a program, and Coach Merschman and company going to be moving on to Canton, as we mentioned, with a flat-out phenomenal performance. And this is what they've been doing all postseason long. Dominance personified as they handle the Tigers 26-13.
And the ability to answer big plays. The Tigers scored, make it 7-6. What do the Blue Devils do? They go right back down, extend on the lead. They get a couple big stops. They come down. The Tigers get that big kickoff return, cuts it once again to 7 points. What do the Blue Devils do? Go right back down, get that momentum back. It's something, like you said, they've been doing all year since week 2. They did, like we said, they lost to a team that's going to finish in the state Final Four this year in the first game. But after that, they have just faced adversity and gone right back at it. Momentum always on their side, and they are still playing on one more week.
14 consecutive victories for the Blue Devils now after starting off their regular season journey with a loss at Hopewell Loudon. And man, Just look at those smiles out there. Look at all the emotion from Drew Steen and company. Anthony Bell loving it. All these guys hugging, not minding that it's freezing out there on the field. They've endured the snow all night long. Played a heck of a game, and they'll get to sing their fight song as they pose for a Final Four victory picture in the end zone. All right, we're going to step aside, guys. We will be back with our post-game presented by Danner's Towing and Recycling, which will include an interview with our Triple C Electrical and Construction Player of the Game. I think it's got to be Jordan Vallejo yet again.
Yeah, just think so, yeah.
Maybe we can get a couple of other interviews with some of the great Carey players out there. We'll see. Make sure that you keep it with us. The post-game will roll along right after this.
94% of my salary employees came from working out on the floor. They've went from loading a press to a staff member. Yeah, to be a team member here, you have to be a hard worker, extremely dependable, willing to work long hours, have good people skills. Here at the Carey plant, the sky's the limit.
Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
It's the most wonderful time of the year when you got your lays that don't last many days, 'cause the whole family's here. Oh, wow. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. The tree's at an angle, the lights are all tangled. Doritos, good call! It's the happiest season of all. There'll be smart food for munching, some ruffles for crunching, and snowball fights out in the snow.
Crying!
Run.
Oh,
Family portraits are cheesy with Cheetos, it's easy. White shirts were a bad idea though. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Grab the queso and salsa. Don't double dip, you monster! Pass the Tostitos here. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be gifts for returning and recipes burning and snacks all laid out in a row. We'll smile through the season, hold tight to the reasons the holidays make our hearts glow. It's the most wonderful time, yes, the most wonderful time, oh, the most wonderful time of the year. Happy holidays! Happy holidays!
We're now back with our Triple C player of the game for a second consecutive week, Jordan Vallejo. 3 times you got into the end zone tonight, brother, and you ran super hard out here. Just tell me about what it was like in these conditions, being able to make some of the runs that you had to. You know, you ran tough all night.
I mean, it's crazy. I never thought at the beginning of the season we'd be in this position, you know, but I'm so grateful that we're here, and especially with all the snow and everything, it made it just an overall fun game to play in.
It felt like over the course of the night, with as big and physical as you guys are up front, plus you and some of the other bruisers that you got, that you just wore out Springfield?
Yes, sir. Like I said, I'm 260, and we have a 240-pound fullback, and our line's no shorter than 6'2", 240. You know, that's just a big guy that's wearing down on you all game.
And that's what you've been doing basically this entire postseason journey, and you guys have been dominant, man. I don't think very many people out there thought that you would be able to hold Springfield in check like you were able to do, but then offensively, tell me about how you guys were able to get those 4 long drives, getting into the end zone, and ultimately clinching the victory going to the state title game.
You know, that's something Coach emphasized all week. We have to have the slow, methodical drives to wear them down since we're our big size, and it was just nice to get 3-4 yards being untouched, and then just powering ahead for another 2-3 yards. It's just amazing.
Well, you're going to get a shot at Coldwater, the defending state champions. I imagine that's got to be something that you're excited to get a challenge like that.
Yes, sir. They're here for a reason, you know, just like us. But they're going to be good. They are for sure going to be good, but, you know, we get back on this grind. We're looking forward to a state championship.
All right, we always let our player of the game give a shout-out. Anybody you want to throw some love to?
Definitely would be my big brother again, Cody Zatter. You know, he came over, gave me a halftime speech, and it just gives me a motivation to do what I do on the field.
All right, Jordan Vallejo, our Triple C player of the game. Congratulations, sir, on another excellent performance.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to keep the postseason action rolling along. Let's bring in Derek Lonsway now, quarterback, defensive back for Carey. Tell me first about just that scene out here in the end zone. You guys are making snow angels. You're having a good time, and then you line up for the picture. I imagine, like, the elation, man. You probably can't even describe to me, can you?
I'm just lost of words. I mean, this has been a dream since we were midget football, starting out, and just going to state, going to Canton. I mean, we're so excited to get back to work tomorrow.
This is a team and a program that felt like you've been right on the doorstep about these last 3-4 seasons. What do you think about this team and this makeup that has allowed you to break through, get to the state title match?
Definitely number one's experience. I mean, sophomore year, we're returning 80% of our team, and we lost there in the regional finals to East Knox, and we knew we were right there, and we're trying to figure out how to get over that hump and win those 50-50 games. And we put in a lot of work this offseason, got bigger, stronger, faster, and it's paying off.
Only had to complete 1 pass last week. Didn't have to do a ton through the air again tonight. What can be said about your offensive line and the running game as a whole that you guys bring to the equation?
Yeah, it speaks for itself. I mean, just those guys are awesome. They're big, and they got speed, and they can get a good push. And with Valley Joe in the backfield being a power back, that really dots the I on our offense.
Well, congratulations, heading to the first state championship game for the program since 1975. Oh, by the way, Carey won it then. We'll see if you guys can get it done again. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
All right, we got one more. Bryce Conti made the game-clinching interception. Talk about that play first off and squeezing that baby when you knew it's a wrap, you'd be moving on.
Well, the front seven just contained the quarterback, and I saw him scrambling. I just stuck with my guy, and right away he just threw it, and I bait him into it, and the defense it goes out to the defense, the whole defense. That pick means everything to all of us.
Containing the quarterback is something you guys did all night outside of that one long run that Bo Brungard had. This is a guy that's going to be up for Mr. Football, 3-year starter. He's broken all sorts of state records, and one of those type of players. What do you think you guys were able to do collectively as a unit to make sure that he didn't beat you?
Well, it was up to the front seven, and our linebacker tried to contain the quarterback the whole time. But just the front seven, outstanding. The whole defense, just amazing. We were coming together as a great group, and he's a really good guy, but we just tried our best, and we got it done.
And what can you say about your role as kind of that lockdown corner that allows the front seven to go up there and eat? Oftentimes, you just have to rush 3.
Well, the front seven, my job basically is just to cover the guy when I have this amazing front seven that just can go in and eat him up right away. So it makes the job easier for me, so I don't have to worry about coming up and making the tackle on the run or anything. I can stay on my guy and contain him and get what the job's done.
Like Derek said, you guys have been dreaming about this since midget football. You know, you're right there on the doorstep now, thinking about the week that's to come. State championship week. There's only 2 teams remaining in Division 6. You're one of them. How's that sound, pal?
Sounds amazing. Been dreaming of since midget football when we won their Super Bowl there. These seniors, the whole team have been working hard every day since when we lost last year to Archbold. It just means so much. It just means so much. I don't know how to say it.
All right, man, we'll go celebrate with your teammates. Bryce Conti and company going to get a shot at the Division 6 defending state champions in Coldwater. Throw it up to Travis.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. As we take a look at the final stats for tonight, and once again, Carey dominated the ground game. 326 yards on the ground. 250 of those yards coming from Lonsway and Vallejo. Only 26 passing yards, as Brian just said in the interview with Derek Lonsway. He only needed to throw it a few times for 26 yards, 452 total yards, actually over their average of 345. Then on the other side, 200 total yards for Springfield, 144 rushing, 66 pass yards. However, 80 of them coming on the rushing touchdown by Brungard, and 46 coming on that last hook and lateral. So the Carey defense, other than those 2 plays, really great job there. Penalties, 4 for 40 for Carey, 1 for 10. 2 turnovers by Springfield, 2 big turnovers in the second half. The first one, that fumble, and as the replay showed, it was a fumble. Brungard was on top of a player when he fumbled it. Carey gets it back, scores, and then the interception to end things. Only 3 first downs, too, in the second half, 19 for Carey. Some individual stats as well as we went over. 30 carries, 162, 3 touchdowns for Vallejo, 12 carries, 87 yards for Lonsway, and the 1 fumble. On the other side, Brungard, 14 carries, 148 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He had a fumble and an interception, and that was it. He was pretty much the offense tonight for Springfield, as the Carey Blue Devils really contained him, like I said, other than a couple plays. Carey just wearing Springfield down in that second half, just with the line play and the way that Vallejo was able to play. So we wait for Brian to get back up here to wrap things up, but what a game. As the words of Eric Will, Carey, baby, they are going to the state championship game next Saturday at 3 o'clock to take on another perennial power in Coldwater. Coldwater took care of things against West Jefferson this evening as we return with Brian Skoronsky. What a game by Carey tonight, Brian.
Yeah, and I love that they all give credit to the other members of the team. When you ask any of them about their role or what they bring, everyone just always want to, give credit to some of the other members of the squad. But everyone mentions that front seven. Defensively, offensively, the guys in the trenches are who really gets the engine roaring, and they got some great skill guys, some physical guys like Vallejo and company, and certainly what Lonsway does from the quarterback position. But man, you just got to give so much love to the guys up front that allow everybody else to come in and feast.
I'm going to let you catch your breath here for a second. Now you know how it feels. It's in the snow and everything, but let's look forward now.
Sure.
The Division 6 state championship. We've seen Carey. Now you got a team in Coldwater that they've been there a lot of times, defending state champions. What does Carey need to do to come in here? Because they're the new kid on the block coming to the state championship game.
Well, we've been talking about that. I think the last 3 weeks we talked about Liberty Center, having those players on the team that have played in a lot of big playoff games. Of course, this week in Springfield, 2 times in a row, this team has played for a state title. They weren't able to win them, but they got as many playoff games as you possibly can. So I don't know that that's a factor anymore at this point. You've proven 5 times in the postseason that you can slay these Dragons and move on to the next round. I think getting over the Springfield hump, really big for this team, and it proves now that they are a juggernaut defensively, and it doesn't matter who they're playing against. I think that the conditions out there, now that I got to walk on the surface myself after the game and see, it probably had a bit of a factor tonight, of course, but for both sides. And I just think that Carey in their ground and pound style, as we talked about on the drive up here, it favored them a little bit more. As you see, man, look at how hard that snow still
It's that
coming
lake
down
effect
here in
snow up
Euclid.
here in Cleveland, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think they're going to be intimidated. Coldwater, even though they are the defending state champs and they have kids that have played in that game, like I just said, at this point, you're a veteran of the postseason if you can get all the way to Canton. And I fully expect Carey to be in the mix by the end of the night or afternoon next Saturday in Canton. So that is going to wrap up our coverage here from Euclid tonight. Final score, 26-13 Carey. Moving on to the state championship. Big ups to our guys out there bringing you the shots on the sideline. Storm Blunchley, not easy to make it through the cold weather out there like he did. Garrett Parlett as well, braving the weather so that you don't have to and that you can watch from home. And we wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for our generous sponsors allowing us to bring you free coverage. That being Slate Hair Studio, Danner's Towing and Recycling, Burson-Bakies Insurance, Triple C Electrical and Construction, Houk Hardware, HDER Link, and Teijin Automotive Technologies. From all of us here at the OH Report, want to wish you yet again an awesome Thanksgiving weekend. Carey closing it out in style. They're headed to Canton. We'll have
Carey,
some
baby.
coverage for them next week. But for now, for Adam Thompson and Travis Berardi, I'm Brian Skronsky saying good night from Euclid.